Welcome everybody to an all-new episode of Star Wars Saturday. We have not done this show in probably almost a year. No, have we done this, AJ?
It's been too long. It's been too
long. We are bringing it back because we have Star Wars news with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the Bad Batch trailer, our pure love for Star Wars, and we're getting eerily close to May. So it's like we'll probably revive this show to review the Bad Batch weekly.
That's only a month left.
Yeah,
I just realized it's April.
We've been in the house so long, I didn't even know what year it was yesterday. I was just like, yeah, man, 2020. And they were like, no. I'm like, wait, what? Like, yeah, it's the one after. I'm like, oh, God, that's right.
It's still 2019 to me. It's still 2019.
That's all I'm saying. When history looks back, I want to be able to say we spent 3 years in 2019. Like, that's how insane it was.
Basically, yeah.
We deserve a proper 2020. But anyway, returning back to Star Wars Saturday, myself and AJ. What's going on, AJ?
I am exhausted. I'm so tired. But yeah, I had a lot of fun yesterday. We talked a lot about DC. We talked a lot about what did we talk about? Falcon and Winter Soldier. And
Godzilla.
Yeah. It was just a great day for me yesterday. And then today, Star Wars, and then more Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I'm having a good day, but it's been tiring as well.
Yeah, I woke up like maybe an hour ago, so I'm the opposite. I'm well awake. And welcoming for the first time, not only to a GVN project, but to Star Wars Saturday, someone who is trying their best to rival my love for Star Wars.
No such thing.
What's going on, Ash?
Hello. I am good. It is a good Saturday. I just got finished watching some lovely football from Manchester City, so I am like on cloud 9. Just it's a good day. Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Ash have been talking Star Wars and the DC. Universe, like crazy.
Oh, y'all should have been continuing this Saturday Star Wars then.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely see what comes from that. But we did do a small DC animated marathon the other day.
Oh,
that was.
I don't like the animated stuff from DC.
So. What?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan.
Okay, just gonna walk out the room.
Great Ernie Altbacker, who does a lot of writing for DC animated. AJ almost lost me a friend because of his dislike for the animated universe, for sure.
There's some stuff that I love, and then there's other stuff that I just it's terrible. Like that Justice League. What was it? The newer one, Justice League, whatever. Yeah.
You know what? It's okay if you say the stuff that you dislike is the new 52 type of stuff.
Yeah, it's the new 52 stuff.
Okay, you're fine. So does everybody else.
Dark Knight Returns.
That doesn't count.
I love Dark Knight Returns. I love the Flashpoint. I love that. The old stuff I really love, but new ones.
Yeah. Well, again, because Ernie Altbacker wrote a lot of the new 52 stuff. I love all of it, Ernie.
I respect his hard work. That's what I'll say.
To get us back on track of Star Wars, I want to start off with, Ash, because you're new to the show. I want to start off with not only your favorite Star Wars movie, but I also want, because me and AJ are going to go over it again so you can hear it, but I want to hear your top 5 Star Wars characters.
Oh, okay. My favorite Star Wars movie, without a doubt, and there's 2 close ones. Revenge of the Sith, like I love Revenge of the Sith. You can't say anything to me about Revenge of the Sith. And Rogue One. Those are my 2. I love Rogue One. My favorite characters, top 5. Oh God. Obviously, Anakin / Vader. Ahsoka. Hondo.
Perfect choice.
I love Hondo. Hondo. Kanan.
Okay.
Number 5. How am I gonna forget my boy?
Can't forget.
How am I gonna forget? How am I gonna forget my boy? Yeah. So I would put. But there's. Damn it!
Five.
You couldn't give me top 10.
Nope, 5. We got to make it difficult. Got to give you the 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with those 5s because I love all
for now.
of them.
You'll stick with them for now. You might change in a second.
I might change, but the only people that won't leave my top 5 are Hondo, Ahsoka, and Anakin. Those 3 will not leave.
I'm with you on that.
Everybody else, yeah.
I'm gonna go Anakin, Bo-Katan, Kylo, Malgus, and AJ. I'm sorry. I know before I had Ahsoka in my list. I also had Asajj Ventress in my top 5.
Oh, damn it.
That's fine.
But
you can interchange Asajj and Ahsoka. I don't care.
Right.
I'm
gonna put someone in my top 5 that was not my top 5 last year when we did this, AJ. And it's mainly because I'm prisoner of the moment. I've been playing the game like crazy. Cal Kestis. I'm putting Cal Kestis in there. I really, really, really can't wait to see what they do with his character going forward. I mean, I like his character so much. He was the guy me and Joel thought would show up at the end of The Mandalorian.
A lot of people did.
We didn't think Luke was possible.
Yeah.
And Ezra just kind of seemed like they were building to that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
I have
Cal
to go
Kestis
back.
was the only other Jedi. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ash.
I have to go back. I lied. I got to change my 5 because I forgot my boy. I forgot my boy. It's Anakin, Ahsoka, Hondo, Rex, Kanan. Top 5.
Rex. Yeah.
Rex. I can't believe I forgot Rex. Like, that's hands down. Okay.
You know what, AJ? I'm gonna go to your list, but Ash, something I've always wondered. I always wondered if Rex ever knew what became of Anakin.
I think he did in Rebels. I feel like I feel like he got the feeling that like something happened, but I don't know if they've outright acknowledged it.
I always thought that he just thought that Anakin was dead.
That's what I'm saying.
It makes sense for Ahsoka to realize that.
Because she could sense it. She could sense it. But remember, she only sensed it when she was right in front of him. It wasn't like she had always known that
she always had a feeling, especially in Rebels. She's always had a feeling that something like bad happened to Anakin. Not really died, but at that moment where I forgot the episode. I think it was like episode 22. It was somewhere around there. Yeah.
Filoni, this is beautifully shot. Remember this shot of in Rebels where Vader is chasing them and Ahsoka is sensing there's something more to Vader.
That's when they're they're flying around. Yeah.
Now that's a callback, but not really because that came first, but it's a callback to the last season of Clone Wars where Anakin's flying through and he senses Ahsoka, but can't place it. Like he can't figure out why he's feeling her. You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of like shadowing of how close they are. That's why, shout out to Star Wars Theory, big time YouTuber. He had posed the question on Twitter, do you think Anakin would have killed Ahsoka had she been at the temple?
Oh, I saw that.
I always say no, because that would have been what snapped him out of it. It would have snapped him out of it, because the one thing Anakin has always been missing from everybody outside of Ahsoka and Padme was love. Like, think about how the Jedi Order spoke to Anakin every day. Like, it seemed like every
Obi-Wan gave him that love, though.
No,
I don't think
he gave him brotherly love.
But it's still love.
No. Hear me out. He gave him the kind of love that's like when you get really proud of like an accomplishment and you go tell like your older brother or your older sister and they're like, all right, yeah, that's cool. And you're like, oh, like I was really looking for like you to like give me something. Like that. And Obi-Wan, he's always said that. I couldn't be more to Anakin because that's just not who I remember. This is the same guy that was like, why can't we just leave this kid here to die? Why are we bringing him with us? Like Qui-Gon was like, yo, relax. He was like, I just don't care about this kid,
But
Qui-Gon.
that's when he didn't really know him at the time.
No, fair. But I'm saying there was always a part of Obi-Wan that never really wanted the responsibility of a Padawan. And we saw that because that's how he raised Anakin. That's why when Ahsoka popped up, Anakin was just like, oh, no. No. I do not want this. And if you remember, Obi-Wan kind of laughed at it because I think it reminded him of how he felt when Anakin was thrusted on him. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, even their, like, if you look at like Anakin and Obi-Wan's like relationship versus like Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship, like, yeah, like they're, you know, they both like both Anakin, Obi-Wan brotherly love, Anakin, Ahsoka sisterly love, but they cared for each other in a way that I think Obi-Wan never really allowed himself to like care for Anakin. Right. So like Obi-Wan, like he's very much like the line, you know, you won't cross it, whatever. You have to follow the Jedi way, feelings, you know, put that out the window. We don't care about that shit. Whereas Anakin and Ahsoka, they lean into it. And because they lean into it, they lean into each other, which is why also like when we get Rebels, when they're both and that's I think it's the season finale, one of the season finales, 1 or 2, whichever one it is, where they're fighting in the Sith temple, and like he breaks through, like even if it's like just for a little bit, he breaks through. And even when like you hear like that his voice say you will die, not Vader's voice, Anakin's voice, she still doesn't like leave, right? Like and all of that. So like I don't think he would have killed her because he was still early in his transition. But I think afterwards, like as soon as he put on the suit and like he realized Padme was dead, absolutely.
Yeah, I also think in that moment, specifically, if Obi-Wan was there in that moment, it would have helped him snap out of it also. It was just by the time he got to Mustafar, it was just, he was too far gone. He had just murdered women, men, children. He was just too far gone by that.
I'll disagree with that a little bit because there was a time in the comics where it is canon where Vader goes back to Mustafar to rebuild his lightsaber. And there was this time where when he was building a lightsaber, he has a vision of him killing Palpatine. He has a vision of going back to Obi-Wan, and he almost changed at that moment, and then something happened, and then he just reverted back to
killed it off.
Yeah. So I do believe, I don't want to believe actually, but I do think that Vader would have killed Obi-Wan at that time and Ahsoka at the time. Because at first I was thinking that he wouldn't.
Hold on. You're saying, what moment are you talking about? I'm saying the moment right after Palpatine swore him in as Vader.
So it's after Vader kills his first Jedi. He goes back.
No. I see. That's what I thought you were talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in Revenge of the Sith when he goes back to the temple. He's still Anakin. I mean, he's been anointed as Vader, but he's still Anakin. That Anakin.
That's the moment.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's the one, and I don't think he would have killed Ahsoka or Obi-Wan at that moment. But once he becomes Vader, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's her off. Yeah, he's killing everything.
That's why I didn't like Vader going back to being good after Luke reverted him back. I wasn't, as soon as I read that, I was like, God damn it, why did he become good at that point in Return of the Jedi? It honestly made me pissed.
I don't disagree with you, but I will say I just would have liked it explained better, because it's like, what did he feel in that moment? He didn't feel when he had told him, I'm your dad, and then proceeded to cut his hand off. Like, what did you not feel that you felt?
No, I gotta think about that.
It makes sense to me. That's all I say. Because to me, it's just like, that'd be so weird. Like, picture if like your bully has been bullying you for like 4 years, right? And then one day you go, dude, like, this is really starting to affect me. And then he goes, damn, I never saw it like that. I'm going to stop. And then you're like, whoa, hold on. That's all I had to say? Like, what? That's all I had to say for 4 years for for you to stop beating me up was, dude, this is really affecting me. That's essentially what Luke said, like, Dad, I love you. And he was just like, damn, that really got to me. Okay. All right. I won't be bad anymore. And it's just like, what?
I don't know.
I need to think. I need to let that marinate because I remembered seeing something that was specifically about that, and I remembered thinking, oh, it's like paralleling something that was in the prequels. But I was like, oh, but the prequels came out after that, so they used it to like tie up the ends. But I need to let that marinate some more because I do have an answer. I just need to not make sure I'm rambling when that answer is happening.
I think the issue is that George Lucas and the team at Disney were focusing on that Star Wars rhymes, and they just try to like go back and forth with like the prequels, with the new trilogy and the sequels, and it.
I mean, with the original trilogy, they were like he was making it up like as he went, right? So like there's like a lot of plot holes there, and I think the prequels like did a good job or a good enough job of like filling up the plot holes there. I'm not going to talk about the sequel trilogy because
that's fine. That's
only good thing that came out of that was Kylo Ren. That was it. If not for Kylo, you could throw the whole 3 movies in the garbage. I could care less about it. Kylo or nothing. That was it. That was it for me.
Not even him. Not even him. He was annoying. I will say wait, let me go.
But you love Revenge of the Sith? They're the
wait,
same
let me go.
Okay, go ahead.
So I enjoyed Kylo in Rise of Skywalker more than I enjoyed him in the other 2 movies.
What?
A little bit.
Do you like Anakin in all 3 of the prequels?
But here's the thing for me, right? You know what? Okay, actually, let me take that back. let me walk that back. Because the only part of him that I genuinely enjoyed in all 3 of those movies was one when he turned against what's his face? Snoke. When he turned against them, then when he and then what was the one where he and what's her name? Rey take on
Palpatine.
Yeah, there we go.
And the Knights of Ren. Okay.
Yeah, and the Knights of Ren. But other than that, like for me, he didn't do nothing for me other than that.
Yeah, I tell you what, he got me like, jump when he came out of that ship in Force Awakens and then held the blaster there.
Yes.
And then proceeded on with what he was doing and then just let it go after he was done. The dopest on-screen, I'd say, do we consider Kylo a Sith Lord? Because he's not called Sith Lord.
He's not a Sith Lord. No, not at all. He's a Sith, but not a Sith Lord. But
technically, Darth Vader's not a Sith Lord either.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
But then why is Kylo not a Sith Lord?
Because he wasn't technically trained by a Sith Lord.
He was though, because Palpatine
wasn't. Snoke is the clone. Palpatine isn't Snoke.
No, but Palpatine said he's been all the voices Kylo's ever heard, and Snoke was one of the voices. So he's essentially saying he spoke through Snoke.
I guess.
Right. Okay, first of all, let me just say this. We should not give much mental power to those 3 movies. But I will say, because I always defend it. Like if someone comes to me and says Anakin was whiny in Attack of the Clones, I give it to you. He was very annoying.
He was.
But that Revenge of the Sith Anakin, godly. Like that's the peak Anakin. And then to me, Kylo Ren is Revenge of the Sith Anakin for
but that's my issue with him. I guess it's not so much my issue with him as much it is the issues with the writers, I suppose. Is that it genuinely felt like they were attempting to redo Anakin 2.0. And I'm like, why can't,
That's not respected because Snoke says it. Snoke says, you'll never be your grandfather. But that's what he was trying to be, was his grandfather, which to me is hilarious. Because I'm like, if you think about it, all it would have taken was for Han and Leia to go, yeah, your grandfather that like, you love so much and think it's like the greatest.
Or even better,
he could have just come like, Luke could have just been like, hey, yeah, my dad at the end died a good guy. And Kylo would have been like, Oh wait, what? Yeah, not a good guy. So this whole
The thing is with me with Kylo Ren is that his thing is that he does remind me a lot of Vader instead of Anakin specifically, because in the comics he does everything point by point what Vader does in the comics as well, which is I guess is cool in a sense, but it just, I think it lacks imagination for me because they're focusing on the story more in the comics than in the movies. Like the things in the comics should have been the things that were in the movies. And
Yeah.
They should have like scrapped all of that and just let the writers for the comics write things for the for the movies, because they had better moments, they had better development with each of the characters. And
I mean,
I don't know what they were thinking at the time.
I'll even say how he becomes Kylo Ren is better than anything out of those 3 movies.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll absolutely.
And I'm never a fan of, don't ever give me a dark side user when there are no other Jedi. I don't like that. It's like, where's the fun in that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, no, let there be Jedi that we see him conquer to become, you know, the Jedi killer.
But we do get that, but it's in the comics.
Oh no, right. No, I'm saying the movie should have done that. Yeah, the movie should have.
Like we get Luke recruiting multiple Jedi. We get Luke, recruiting multiple Jedi, and Kylo, and we now know that he teaches Baby Yoda. I can't remember his name.
Grogu.
Yes, Grogu. Thank you. He trains Grogu. Where the hell is Grogu, by the way? Like, that's never going to be touched on unless they do on season 2.
Here's the thing, though. It might be, because we have to remember there's a large gap between Mandalorian season 2 and when Force Awakens begins. So that's a large gap of time to where Grogu could have been training and said, you know what, Luke? I'll see you later. Like, I don't need to train anymore. I think I'm pretty good here. So I always tell people, don't think too much about it, because there's just so much time that easily you could have said he wanted to go back to be with Mando, you know? So he left 5 years into it, you know, because it's almost a 10-year gap. Because people forget, at the time of Mandalorian season 2, Kylo's only like 8 years old. So it's like he's not like he's 26 during that time. So it's like there's time to work with it. But I'm sorry, AJ, I want to get back to you. Your top 5.
Obi-Wan. This is no specific order. Obi-Wan, Anakin, Asajj, Ahsoka. No, actually, I'm gonna take out Asajj, but Ahsoka.
I need to make someone's list, AJ. I was depending on you.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put Asajj back in there. I don't know. Should I?
I mean, yes.
You should, because it pains me to keep her out of mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Obi-Wan,
what, AJ? Time out. I'll take the pressure off of you. I'll take Cal Kestis off and put Asajj Ventress on my list, so you don't have to have so you can just make your top 5, and Asajj will be on my top 5.
No. Asajj is not on there anyway. So it's Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, Thrawn, and I do want to say Bane, but I don't want to say Bane at the same time.
Why?
What's his name? One of the twins. Texas. I think it's Texas.
Oh, you want the twins over Bane?
Yes.
Wow.
You with crowd. Now I can't remember anybody's name. The clone. Darth Vader's apprentice. I can't remember his name now.
Starkiller. Starkiller.
Yeah, Starkiller. You with Starkiller. I want the twins as a movie.
I want the brothers and the sister. I want everybody.
And the sister. Yes.
From that. Bro, I'm with you. If they told me I was getting that but couldn't get Starkiller, I'd be fine with that. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
I want it all.
You know, there's only one person that I need to see in live action, and once I see him, my Star Wars bucket list is cool. Malgus. Once I get Malgus, I don't care what else Star Wars does. I need Malgus.
It has to be done right, though. You can't just get it. It has to be done right.
I'm going to say this because someone asked me, like, you love Batman so much. Would you take Batman even if the movie's bad?
No.
And part of me was just like, well, is Batman at least accurate? Like, if Batman's done well, but everything else around it is bad, I think I could sleep.
No, everything with Batman has to be perfect. That includes the city. That includes all the villains. That includes...
Let me just say this. All y'all that are saying that are full of it because y'all are the same people that tell me y'all loved Batman Begins.
Whoa,
pause. Wait. So you had it at Batman Begins. Don't come for the Dark Knight now.
It's not an accurate Batman movie.
Yeah, we talked about this and we were in agreement with this. Christopher Nolan does not do a good Batman, but he does do a good job with the movie itself. That's why I'm excited for Matt Reeves' Batman, because he's doing the lore perfectly and Batman at the same time. Yes. And making the movie a good movie.
Which is why when you listen to a Christopher Nolan interview, which, by the way, anyone who knows Geek Vibes Nation knows we go off topic. Bear with us. Anyone who listens to a Christopher Nolan interview about the Dark Knight trilogy, you get where he was going with the realism, but he doesn't get the mythos of Batman. 15 minutes into Matt Reeves' conversation at Fandom, I was just like, no, he gets it. He was speaking through me. Like, it was just like I was channeling everything through him, and he was just saying out of his mouth. I was sitting there in tears, just like, he gets it. I never thought we'd see this day.
And I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan also said in an interview that he wasn't trying to go for the comics at all. Anyway.
Right, which is...
Yeah, I do remember him saying
why do it? Why do it?
Yeah. I still think it's a good movie, a really great movie, and I don't like slander.
It's Heat remade with Batman skins.
Exactly. But Ash, that's what me and AJ are saying. They're great movies, just not great Batman movies. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll agree with that. Yeah. We can agree with that.
See, everyone, when I say that, they come for my neck, but they don't hear that I'm saying they're great movies, just not good Batman movies. Like, if the character's name was, I don't know, Sloan Mitchcup, and it was about like a ninja, I would go, this is great. But it being Batman? No, come on. Anyway, all right, let's get back to Star Wars. AJ, love your list. Ash, love your list. I'm putting Asajj on my list. So I'm taking Cal Kestis out. Can't have Asajj Ventress out. All right, so before we get into our main topics, I want to do one more fun thing. Now, I want you guys to take one character out of your top 5 that you would like them to either start a series around or a movie around.
They're already doing
it. The challenging part. Wait, say it again, AJ.
I said they're already doing it, but keep going.
All right, so then let me say this. You're not allowed to choose Ahsoka.
Okay.
Damn it.
The challenging part.
Wait, they're doing it.
See, I thought you were talking about Obi-Wan.
They're doing Obi-Wan too.
Oh my, okay. You cannot use anyone out of your top 5 that is greenlit to do their own project.
Ah, damn it.
I didn't even realize that as I was saying this. I'm like, oh yeah, the Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. Anyway, someone who's not being greenlit to have their own project. And here's the tough part. Excuse me. You have to cast that specific character. No one else. I don't need a full cast. Just a cast of that one character.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can it be someone that's already been casted? Like the Obi-Wan series casted a lot of people, but they didn't tell us which character they're casting. Can we choose one of them? Or
that's fine. It can be someone we know is someone. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I would use Kylo Ren, right? But clearly I wouldn't bring back Adam Driver. I'd read that. I would go, God, just lost his name, just had it. Timothy Chalamet as a younger Kylo Ren that's showing us how he becomes Kylo Ren leading to the events of Force Awakens. So I would have a series about a younger Kylo Ren starring Timothy Chalamet. That's my example. That's not what I'm going with. That's just my example, so you guys see where I'm coming from. Gotcha. All right. Now, my real one that I'm going with is I want an Asajj Ventress movie. And AJ, it's tough because I'm stuck between Alicia Vikander in what's her name that was dating Ben Affleck? Ana de Armas.
Isaiah?
No, Ana.
No, Anna. You're right. Yeah, Anna.
I want Ana. Like, if this were maybe 15 years ago, it'd be Angelina Jolie, and it's not even up for discussion. Easily in my sleep, it'd be Angelina Jolie. She would easily go bald, wouldn't complain, and would nail it, right? But Anna, there's something about Anna that I think you could really, because remember when Ventress was talking about her history, she was good before she was turned to the dark side. So I'm like, I need someone who can pull off the good really well and then surprise you with how great they can be as a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go Anna, even though I think I might like Alicia Vikander, but I just can't picture Alicia Vikander bald, and I think that's what creeps me out the most. But I'm going to go Anna, and I want a Asajj Ventress series. I don't want a movie. I want a series. Because I want to see the Night Sisters. Mother Talzin. I even want to see them play around a little bit with mentioning Darth Maul's name. Because I like how Clone Wars did it, to where it's like, you should build your own. And then we get Savage, and then she tells Savage, like, your brother's out there somewhere. And it's like, oh, no. I remember sitting there watching it like, no, they don't mean. And then when they showed Darth Maul in the crystal ball, I was like, oh my God, they're bringing him back. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm going with that. Asajj Ventress is the character I'm going with. AJ, I'll go to you next. Who are you going with?
Okay, I'm going to choose Thrawn. Not a series, but a movie trilogy.
A movie trilogy?
A movie trilogy, yes.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna go basic, and I'm gonna say Lars Nicholson.
Okay, I like it.
I really love that casting in general. He just fits the aesthetic of Thrawn. His acting just reflects Thrawn to me. So that's who I'm going for.
And he voices him.
Huh?
And he voices him.
Yeah.
That's like easier than that. A 3-part arc. So what are you establishing him as the main bad, like a misunderstood main bad? Like whenever you're doing a movie about a bad guy, the good guy is the bad guy. So like, who would be your good guy? That's the only thing that's confusing me.
So I wouldn't say that I have like a specific good guy in it. I'm going more novel type, where we're just focusing on his accomplishments,
his war time.
Yeah, within his rank, and I think that would be a good way to establish him in the movies. So I think that would be cool.
I'm with you on that. Ash, bring the heat. Who you going with?
So I only have 3 options I can choose from.
Yeah.
I just realized. Actually, this is very easy. I want a Vader movie. He's on my list.
Okay.
Like, obviously. And I want him right after the purge. Like right when like Palpatine sends him out to like kill Jedis. Like I want right after that.
You want as a movie or a series? See, right now with me, the series aren't caught up. They aren't caught up with like the movie type aesthetic. That's why
I would want a movie, but I would want a movie.
You want a movie?
Yeah, I would want it as a movie. I don't know who I would want to play him, like the physicality, because obviously like, we're gonna need to like have someone who can do Vader's voice. Mm-hmm. So like that's the only part like I'm stumped on.
Well, Hayden Christensen's back.
Yeah, I know, but I was gonna say him, but then like you said, oh, like you wouldn't bring back what was his?
I mean, I guess
driver.
It doesn't really matter because he has a mask on.
Yeah, so like I mean, for me,
a voice. So then let me ask you this: let's make it easier. Who would you want to be the voice of Darth Vader?
I mean, I'm always gonna say
James
Jones. Yeah, I'll always say Jones, but
Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I would have to. Yeah,
Darth Vader. Like, oh, people get so bored when he talks. It's like, dude, you got to wrap this up. Like,
yeah,
you're talking too long at this point. I'm trying to think of a commanding voice.
Yeah.
I think Oh, what's? Oh my God.
Oh, I know who I would go with. He's not as good as James Earl Jones for our listeners and our viewers out there. I'm not comparing, but I would definitely go. What's his name that played Candyman?
Oh, I know you're talking. You're talking about crap. I know you're talking.
You know who I'm talking about. Because I'm just thinking of a voice. I'm not thinking, obviously, he's not going to be in the bodysuit.
Yeah.
But just a voice. I mean, I liked what James Spader did with Ultron. That's another person.
That's a good one.
You know, that could be very. Because to me, I think what James brings is not only a presence, but like a tone.
Yeah.
Tony Todd. Tony Todd, right?
Tony Todd. Yep. Tony Todd. Yep. So I mean, you know, there's some out there, but you know what? This might be the one that I'm like, you know what? Just keep James. Like, there's just it's a tall order for anybody. You know, just I mean, hell, when they redid Lion King, they were just like, James. Let's not even. It's like, well, do you want to keep everybody? No,
just James.
Just James. Just James.
Which is crazy because I'm like, I love Jeremy Irons as Scar, and they were just like, nah, we don't care. James has to be just James. All right, so we can get into our main topics now. We're going to start off with a reaction, well, not a reaction, but a review on the trailer for The Bad Batch. Ash, we were saying this in pre-production. I noticed watching that trailer over again, Crosshair. If you're not familiar with Crosshair, he was the one in the last season. Yeah. Has a sniper rifle. He's barely in this trailer. I believe that's because he will betray his brothers. I think he will betray his brothers. I really do. And I think what will, because I'm thinking of Dave Filoni and how he's made sure someone significant has died in each of his 2 shows, right? I could see it to where he betrays his brothers, they get through to him, and we see Tarkin have Crosshair executed as to show the rest of the Bad Batch what happens when you don't, you know, fall in line to the Empire. So I could see that moment to where the brothers are just like, you know, instead of us just trying to exist, season 2 is about us getting revenge on the Empire to avenge our brothers. So that's where I'm going with that. I hope not, because I told AJ I just bought the figure of Crosshair. So I don't want to look at him every day and just go, oh, you're dead.
Traitor.
Traitor I can live with. Him being dead is where I'm just like, oh, man.
Oh, man. I hope that, I mean, as someone who just loves storytelling, and I would love that, because then it would make even more sense as to, like, it would help, like, when Tarkin said that line, like, I want them hunted down and whatever. Yeah. Like, that would, but why he gotta die, though?
Because, like, why? Here's the only reason I would need him to die, right? Think about if in Rebels, where Kanan was stopping the fire as Ezra was able to escape. Picture if, as the ship was starting to depart, Kanan jumped on board.
Yeah. Yes. I yes.
Like, okay, like, no. Ezra wouldn't be able to become the Jedi. I assume he's going to become without that. Same way, I think if Qui-Gon had lived, Obi-Wan wouldn't be.
No, absolutely not.
Today. So you needed that, and think about how it ripped your heart out of your chest watching the Duchess die right in front of Obi-Wan, and he ultimately just did nothing. He was just like, oh, well, you know, it happens. Like of course he didn't say that, but like he was just like, I'm a Jedi, can't strike out of anger, so I'm gonna have to let this one go. Like I was just like, I was thinking in that moment, like, no one.
He struggled a little bit. Give him some credit.
No, he did.
What did he do? He did. No, what did he do right after that? He looked at her and just was like, why I oughta, and then just kind of just let go. Like, you know who wouldn't have done that?
Anakin, obviously.
They're two
different people,
right? Obi-Wan soft. I know, that's what I'm saying. He's not a real dude like Anakin.
Yeah, he's a Jedi. He respects
the Jedi.
Anakin would have crushed hearts in living chest in that moment, right?
Obi-Wan respects the code, even though it's wrong. Anakin doesn't respect the code.
Anakin said, "I will murder a galaxy for love." Like,
even though he killed his own wife, but
yeah. You know, it's crazy. You know how like people ask like certain people like, "What would you really do for love?" Like, would you give your kidney for love? Like Anakin would walk in and go, "I murdered children for love." That takes the cake, right? And everyone just
killed my love. It's like I killed my love.
He's like, no, wait, I can do better.
My love for love.
That's also I don't understand why. This pisses me off. The most recent comic that came out, Darth Vader does go back to Tatooine.
Oh, and he sees the hologram or whatever it is of Padme. That one that just recently came out.
No, he sees the twin, not the twin, but the replacement of
yes, yeah,
Padme, the replacement of him.
Yeah.
And he says that he wants revenge to whoever. I think this is what he said. Don't quote me on this, but he wanted revenge on whoever killed Padme in it, which I guess makes sense because I actually don't know why it makes sense or not. It doesn't really make sense.
To me, it makes sense a bit because I don't think when he woke as Vader, because remember when he woke as Vader at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine tells him Padme died.
But he doesn't tell them how she died.
How Padme died. Because I think once you tell him, it then breaks him to not wanting to be Vader anymore because he'd feel responsible. So I think in that moment, it was just like, Palpatine was just like, wait, how did she die? Oh, he did it? No one tell him that. No one tell him that. Don't tell him. I'll break the news to him. Like, he just walked up, hey, she died, dog. How? I don't even know. She's crazy. I don't even know, man. It's crazy out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you why.
It's like, but how does he not know? Since he's able to sense life force.
Think of it like this. Think of it as dying as Anakin. He rewoke as a whole nother person who has now the same memories but altered. They're not the same. Like, I have seen someone do something so egregious that like they don't know that they're doing.
Yeah,
you know
they're able to block out
trauma.
Like,
I mean, he was being burnt alive. I would want to. Yeah, I would want to block out that trauma. But then also like even like before then, like he was already like having like problems like just like with his perception and his like just the way that reality was. So like I wouldn't be like surprised because I mean like he did turn on Padme because he thought that she was there like and all of that. So like I wouldn't be surprised like if he genuinely like blocked that out of his like out of his memory.
Like, I thought that was hilarious how shocked Obi-Wan was. Like, yeah, you think I know about you two? And Obi-Wan was just like, us? No. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, even Padme was just like, what are you, where is this coming from? Like, Anakin was just so angry. He was piecing all the wrong things together. Like, I know it was you, Obi-Wan, who killed my mother. What? It's like, I don't know. I'm just angry. Like, I have no idea anymore. But no, I mean, to me, I think The Bad Batch is going to be a great series. Obviously, we see Ash's boy Rex pop up in there, which is great because I would have thought in that moment he wouldn't want to still rock his ceremonial guard. And that's obviously their uniform. I would have thought he would have wanted to distance himself.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty interesting.
Doesn't he?
No. He does eventually. I'm saying in the trailer, he's in the same way we saw him at the end of Clone Wars is the same way he is in this trailer. I'm saying I would have thought right after that he would have wanted to distance himself from all of that. So I am curious because if you watch Rebels, you see that he does have a few of his brothers still with him. So I am curious in this moment, is it just Rex? Is it Rex and his brothers? I really can't wait for this series because I love The Bad Batch.
Yeah. I
love the idea of these weird, mutated, just creepy, off-putting clones that even the Jedi were just like, no, they got to do like missions that no one knows about. We can't have people thinking that's what we're rocking with out here. So I personally love the trailer. I already know that Hunter is going to be my favorite character. He just is. And if we ever do a Bad Batch live action, I kind of want Keanu Reeves is my
Everybody wants Keanu Reeves for everything. That has to deal with guns.
Everything.
That has to deal with guns.
When he starts to do something bad, AJ, is when I'll say, you know what, we're good off Keanu.
No, you'll be like, I want more. I need it.
Keep talking out these John Wicks, and I'll keep fan casting them. But yeah, I love the trailer. I can't wait for this. I think May 4th is when it drops. Kind of wish it originally was supposed to drop last month. I don't know why they pushed it back. I mean, I get it. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. But damn, I hate this waiting game. But Ash, I'm going to go to you next. What were your thoughts on the Bad Batch trailer?
I mean, I just loved it. I mean, when I first saw the Bad Batch, I was just like, yes, I freaking love them. And I mean, I love the clones just because I think Clone Wars just did a really good job of giving the clones each of their own individual stories. And when a clone died, damn, why'd you have to do that shit? You know, you really felt it. And then when they brought in Bad Batch, I was like, okay, bet. I know for a fact you're not going to give us these clones that are completely off-world. They are undercover. They don't do what regular clones do. Obviously, are you going to give us more? And the trailer just looked beautiful. It's just another one of those oh, this is another piece of the puzzle that fits into the world. I really, really love the non Skywalker main movies. I love them, but I also love the shows and the movies that comes out that complements them in there. And I love that we're gonna get to see how the war freaking affect the clones, because they lost their brothers at the end of the day. They're the ones that lost the most, well, in addition to the Jedi, obviously, but
the whole Jedi bloodline.
Yeah, the whole Jedi.
They got massacred.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's some mothers out there that are like, I miss my kids. Anakin was just, well.
Yes. Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure they killed them too.
Oh yeah, it probably did. Probably did.
Probably
you're thinking that, you're sitting there and you're just like, oh man, good thing I'm not a Jedi, but damn, I miss my son. And then you're just
hey, did you birth a Jedi? Yeah, dead.
yeah, gone. He just loops around, starts killing all the grieving parents. Don't worry, you'll meet them. Whoa,
But yeah, so yeah, I'm really, I'm very excited for it because for one, I love the clones. I love hearing and seeing they are they're not just clones, they're real people too. And so and also I mean, it's Dave Filoni. That man, his storytelling and the way that he gets you, to me, top tier above all. So yeah,
100%. And shout out to Disney Plus. They just put the Samurai Jack style of Clone Wars on Disney Plus.
Love it.
I watched it, and I remember saying to myself after season 7 of Clone Wars finished, there's a huge difference. I think the original Clone Wars has better action pieces, but the newer Clone Wars brings you a level of care to characters that show makes you think are irrelevant, right? Because the troops they barely talked. They were sending noise signals and crap. No one talked in that. So you're just looking at them as mindless soldiers. Filoni brings it in, gives you Rex, gives you Cody, gives you Fives, gives you everybody. And you're like, damn, I just feel for this clone. Remember when they had a brother that betrayed them in their ranks? And when Rex and Cody found out who it was just oh, this hurts so much. I feel you, Rex and Cody. So I'm he's able to do that in a way that's super special. But something that you said, Ash, of stories outside of the Skywalker. I know a lot of people are sick of the Skywalker saga, right? Skywalkers, I'm tired of it. I look at Skywalker the same way I look at Batman. I'll never be sick of Skywalker, the same way I'm never sick of Batman. But I don't want you to make 90 Batman instead of creating bringing in new characters for people to enjoy. So to me, personally, in 5 or 10 years, I would like them to reboot the Skywalker saga. That way you can do it in order, do it right, and then you can do a all new saga that complements that saga the same way the Rey saga was supposed to. But now you can do it the right way. So where maybe we see semblances of Kylo growing up, we have movies in the middle of it, to where Luke is growing the Jedi, the Jedi Order and whatnot. But to me, I don't ever want the Skywalker saga to die, ever. I want you to keep making Vader, Luke, Anakin, whatever. But give me my Knights of the Old Republic. Like, finally.
Yes, please.
Like,
Thank
goodness
you.
gracious. Give me a movie that's nothing but Cad Bane trying to steal like a holocron crystal. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me stuff like that. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where it's like you don't have to kill one thing to continue.
Exactly. You can have both of them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. WB.
Unfortunately, this geek world is very much no. You got to kill this to have that, and it's like, where did you grow up? Like, what did Obi-Wan say? Only Sith is in absolute. Like, why is it like, weird? But anyway, AJ, your thoughts on the Bad Batch trailer?
I loved it. What you were talking about, I love the action in it. It looks very smooth. I will say that I'm not a big fan with the clones as you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love Rex. I do love Cody. They are the OGs of the OGs with clones. I love them all. But it's not the Bad Batch isn't on the top of my list of most favorites. Where we're getting another Rebels. I think that's been confirmed, or it's still rumor. I'm not sure.
Right? Yeah.
See, yeah. Ahsoka, we're getting season 2 of Mandalorian. But regardless of all that, I did love this trailer. I can't wait to see what Dave Filoni does with these characters. Do we know if this is getting a season 2, or is it just going to be just one season?
We don't know yet. They're probably going to just play it by ear. They're probably just going to play it by ear.
Okay.
But
and then
a little caveat: we saw somebody familiar to Mandalorian season 2 inside the trailer of Bad Batch. You guys didn't catch it? I'll give you a hint. She was the person sitting on the chair of the new throne that goes to Boba. No? Still don't get what I'm talking about?
No, you don't. Bad memory in this household.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember her name. It was Ming Na Wen, right? I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember her name.
She's in the Bad Batch. So it'll be really interesting to see a little bit of her character's arc. Because you only see like that one episode in season 1 of Mandalorian, and then a little bit more in season 2, but she's tamer than she was, but damn is she a good shot. Like, she's a really, really, really good shot. So I can't wait to see a world turned upside down, like a world that very much was like, man, I'm able to stay neutral in between the Republic and the Sith. Like, I'm gonna just stay neutral. I want nothing to do with it. Only for the Empire now to go, you don't have free will. You do what I say, or we obliterate planets. So, fall in line. So it's gonna be interesting to see that play out. But AJ, was there anything else you wanted to add before I go to you, Ash?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, anything you want to add, Ash?
I'm interested, and I think I need to like look up and see like more like the timeline like for Bad Batch and like how close it is to Rebels as well.
I think
really,
it's ways away because Rex is still really
young. Okay, never mind.
Young. Yeah, it's ways away. Yeah, it's ways away.
I'm gonna take that back because I was brainstorming and brewing. I'll take that back.
Yeah, I don't want to say ways like no. Yeah, it might be ways away.
Yeah,
this might be.
Well, it's still
Revenge of the Sith.
That's what I was thinking. It was still after.
Right after. Okay.
Jedi. Yeah.
So essentially, this is a follow-up of the last season of
season. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
That's why. Now it makes sense. That's why when you watch it, it melts away the Clone Wars logo into the Bad Batch logo. So it's kind of like out with the old, in with them. Right. Let's get into why we are pretty much here, and it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's him. It's him. We're getting him back. I was really excited. I want to talk about the cast. I got the cast list here. By the way, for anyone who does not know, I know the three of us do. This show will take place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So obviously Vader's well established. He's murdered countless families by now. Uh, countless Wookiees, countless families, Jedi. As me and AJ were saying in pre-production, he's killed some Inquisitors. He's killed some of his own stormtroopers. He's just been on a killing spree. So it's going to be really interesting because this is a Vader that Obi-Wan will have no connection to. I mean, not even in the slightest. There will be no, but Anakin, no, we don't do that here. No, sorry. Nope. But I want to go over a rumor. Ash, I told you this rumor. AJ, me and you spoke about this before. I believe at least 3 of these names are Inquisitors. One of them had tweeted out after this cast list came out that they get to play with lightsabers. So that then confirmed to me that her character that I figured would be one of the Inquisitors. But what I'm hearing is Vader finds out where Obi-Wan Kenobi is, and Palpatine won't allow him to go. So Vader sends Cody and Inquisitors to go capture Obi-Wan, not kill him, capture him. And it is only in their failure that we see face-to-face Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm just like, I don't know who got in my head. Thank you if that is something that actually happens. I just want to see live action Inquisitors. I really do. They're very unique looking characters that I want to see in live action. So that's where I'm going with. But this show excites me only for the idea of that. I don't, because to me, the timeline they're playing with of Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of the most boring times of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just like, he's just there. I mean, hell, in Rebels, Maul runs up on him in the middle of the desert, and Obi-Wan's just like, "What up?" It's just like, why are you just sitting here? It's like, that's what I do, you know.
Well, he doesn't just sit there within this timeline. He does stuff like he protects Luke from Tusken Raiders and multiple other things. I'm pretty sure bounty hunters as well.
Possibly,
also, he also learns how to become deeper within the Force with Qui-Gon. So we're definitely going to. I'm 100%. I wouldn't say 100%. I'll be 95% sure that we will get Qui-Gon.
That's 100. I thought you were going to
I'm not gonna say 100 because it's not confirmed yet. But I'll say 95 because I'm that confident. I do believe that we're going to get Qui-Gon.
That's why when people go, I'm not going to give
99.9999.
But like, I'll give it a 9.5. It's like, dude, that's a 10. It's like, what is that? What is that half that you're taking off? But no, I'm with you. I do think we'll get Qui-Gon. What I mean by boring is, all right, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know this is going to sound very pedestrian, but I don't enjoy Star Wars if there's not lightsabers. Like lightsaber battles, like not a lightsaber versus a blaster. I want lightsabers versus other lightsabers. It's why I've been telling AJ since the day I met him, I need Knights of the Old Republic, where it's nothing but lightsabers on lightsabers. That's all I want. That's all I want. So that's what I mean by it's a boring time of Obi-Wan because, you know, as far as we know in the comics, there were no Inquisitors he was fighting. If this show brings that in, it's new to the story of what Obi-Wan was doing in that time. So I'm really curious. I'm also really curious. Someone said this. I do hope it happens. Someone said they would like to see a flashback of Anakin ripping through the Jedi Temple. Obviously, we don't need to see him killing younglings, but obviously other Master Jedi.
Why not?
Okay, relax. Come on. Good, you didn't get this flagged on YouTube. No, I just want to see, because to me, we know how powerful Anakin was in that moment, right? But to me, I don't like the idea of that being something that we just have to assume. I want to see how easily he ripped through all these Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, all these Jedi were trained by really good Jedi masters. So it's like, if he could rip through them, I want to see all that. I want to see him rip through them all. So I do hope we get a flashback of that. But outside of that, all right, so let me go through the cast before I pass it to you guys. All right, so we got Seong Kang, was in who's returning to Fast and the Furious, even though we all thought his character died, and it's just I think his character's name is Han in that universe. Is the weirdest thing. It was just like he died, and then they were just like promoting this movie. Han's back. What? Like
he never died. That was a dream sequence.
Yeah,
that was a dream sequence. He never died.
Statham shot him in the face. He shot the ground. It never hit him. That's so
exactly.
We also got Simone Kessel, Benny Safdie, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who, if he is not one of those bigger Inquisitors, I will hate it. I'll hate whoever else he is.
He's a farmer. He's going to be a farmer.
If he's a farmer, AJ.
It's been confirmed. He's a farmer. I'm serious.
All right, I tell you what. If he's a farmer, he better be a farmer from like Southside LA. Like comes up and asks to help. He's like, yay. Like, I want that. We got Rupert Friend. I believe he will be an Inquisitor. He looks like a bad guy.
Yeah.
That mustache is only for villains. Good guys don't have mustaches like that. Another person I believe is an Inquisitor, Indira Varma. I think she's 1,000% an Inquisitor.
Asajj. She's Asajj Ventress. Asajj is going to be in this.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If we get Asajj Ventress, AJ, I will cry. I will cry.
You'll cry anyway.
You know I'm a crier. I cried when Luke showed up. Don't make fun of that though, AJ. I have feelings.
I'm not. I'm with you on this one.
You better cry. Don't just say you're with me. You better cry too.
We cried while we were watching the Batman trailer on Fandom.
We did. That is.
I had a meltdown.
I legit. I don't think I've ever cried harder in life than I did watching that trailer. Like it all came out. You know, it was just finally seeing Batman.
Funerals. Nope.
No, not at all. Not at all. What? No. Oh, when Mufasa died? No. Crying?
What? Wow, that was pitiful.
Right?
Watching Marley and Me was no. That was not even close. No.
Cooking a full dinner and then dropping the plate on the floor?
But the Batman.
The Batman. That's the one. At my wedding? No.
No tears. No tears at all.
None. I'll just be standing there solid faced.
I'll think about the Batman. That's when I'll start crying.
No.
There you go.
She'll go, not crying. And I'll go, no, I know. It's not sad. And then she'll go, but the Batman's coming out. And then I'll go, oh my God, it is. And then that's when I'll start crying. And then people in the crowd will be like, oh my God, he loves his wife so much.
The wedding day is when we watch the Batman. That's our wedding right there.
That's it. And then the theme has to be playing as she's walking down.
Exactly. There you go.
She can't walk down. She has to stay with that. All right. All right, let's continue. So Indira Varma, we believe, is either an Inquisitor or Asajj. Kumail Nanjiani, I believe he will be. Remember how Alan was a K2SO?
Mm-hmm.
The robot in Rogue One.
Alan Tudyk. Yeah.
I think he'll be like a droid, like a funny droid, like as comic relief. I don't think he'll be anyone else. I think he'll be like a comic relief droid.
Have you seen him though? Have you seen him though? He looks like he would.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. But I mean, I don't know. I'll say that. I don't know. Bonnie and Joel Edgerton, I believe, are supposed to be Luke's aunt and uncle that he's living with that die horribly. So prepare yourself for that.
Spoiler alert. Goodness.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. If you did not see any of the other Star Wars movies explaining that they died. Spoiler alert, I guess. Moses Ingram. She is the one who said she gets lightsabers. So she is the one. And
then she's Asajj then.
AJ, stop playing with
everyone is Asajj.
No, but before she even tweeted that out, I immediately saw her and said, that's an Inquisitor. It just is. Hayden Christensen, it's being rumored he might be
Are you sure it's a rumor? Is it confirmed? Have they confirmed it as yet?
So, spoiler alert for anyone who didn't see any other Star Wars movies, his Anakin becomes Vader. There you go. And then, of course, the granddaddy of them all, Ewan McGregor, back as, we assume, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Darth Vader.
That's not what I heard.
What did you hear, Ash?
I heard he wasn't coming back as Obi-Wan.
Oh my God, who's he coming back as?
Force Ghost. Just Force Ghost.
There you go.
He's going to take on Qui-Gon.
Yeah. You know what, though,
I like
Ash?
it. I like it.
You know what, though? You just spoiled that for somebody, so you have to.
Yeah. Well, if you miss Return of the Jedi,
right?
I don't know what to tell you because he showed up there too.
Oh yeah, he was. He fell in the Sarlacc pit. That's what happened, and then he became a Force Ghost. That's what happened. Yep. Obviously, we are joking. He will be back as Kenobi. I really do like the idea of this show. I've always said, I really do hope, and this is kind of going off of this show a little bit, I hope in the Ahsoka series, she gets to at some point come face to face with Luke, because I want to see them share stories, because there's parts of Anakin both of them don't know. So Ahsoka doesn't know Anakin died a hero. Luke doesn't know the amazing person his father was before he became the horrible person that Luke has always known, right? Because a lot of people say, well, you assume Obi-Wan Kenobi told him about his father before. And I'm like, I don't think so.
No, he definitely did not tell him.
Why he was shocked.
He lied about how his father died. And you think he's going to sit here and say, let's talk about that time on
Technically, he did tell him about Anakin, but he didn't tell him about his transformation into Vader.
Which to me is the most important part. Like, don't go, like, don't sit there and go, man, Juwaan, your dad was like a really great father. And then like years later, everyone's like, yo, you do know he killed half of the state of New Jersey.
So Luke already does know the good things that he's done.
Yeah, but I mean, Ahsoka to me, on a friendship level, I think was closer to Anakin. I know people think that that's ridiculous. Their level of, like, think about this, right? Anakin was okay murdering Obi-Wan Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith, right? He just was like, I don't really care about Obi-Wan that much. Think about how heartbroken he was when Ahsoka took the little thing off, handed it back to him, and said, this whole Jedi thing, I'm good. Goodbye. He was heartbroken. He was heartbroken.
Also, he went and he fetched her lightsaber at the end of Clone Wars.
Yep. And I believe the scene in Rebels, he had said, look what happened to me when you left me. Like, he was kind of like putting the blame on Ahsoka of like, I only did this because of you. Like, little does she know that's not true.
Nah, that's not true.
No. But it was the idea, and remember the hurt that she carried with that of like, damn, I did kind of give him the middle finger and not really follow up. And then remember, in the events of fighting Maul, she's sensing what's happening. She's feeling it, but she never goes out to find out, or we don't know. But to our knowledge, she doesn't go out to find out what happened to Anakin. It was just one of those things of, whatever. You know, it's cool. War's over. I'm gonna go hide. So to me, it's like, I think they would have very intimate stories about Anakin that they would both really enjoy having. And I don't like the idea of knowing Ahsoka's been alive this whole time.
And she's never
been alive this whole time. And they've never come across each other. Because if you think about it, in this timeline, they're the two strongest Jedi. There are no Jedi stronger in this moment than Ahsoka and Luke. So it's like, they never sensed each other. Like, I sensed someone really powerful.
Also, I would think like Ahsoka like would, and this is just like in my own head as well. Like, I would also like think that like Ahsoka like after a while, because I do think she finds Ezra. Like, she absolutely finds him. And I think that upon like finding him, like she would like in turn like want to like find other Jedi as well. I think like she could like also have helped like, maybe I don't know, maybe timeline, what the timeline's looking at, like help Luke like with like as he's getting ready, you know, to like start
at that point. She didn't still believe in the Jedi code though. Right, that's why
if we went back to her conversation with Mando, she was really put off on the idea of taking on a Padawan, bringing anybody.
I'm saying this is like way after.
Oh, way after that. All right.
Like I would,
There
because
is not-
in Mando she hasn't found Ezra as yet. In Mando she's still looking for
Yeah.
Ezra. So like I would assume after she finds Ezra's, like after Mando and like all of that has gone on. And I think by then, like she would be like in a position like where she would feel like comfortable enough to like, if not train, at least like keep like them safe and like give that, like put them in Luke's direction, you know?
I'm with you on that. I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Because we don't know really where her heart lies till we see her series.
Mhm.
Where I'm hearing it's possible that Ezra could be the bad guy in that series, to where she finds him, but Thrawn has manipulated his mind. So you know, because to me, you can't just make Thrawn the bad guy, because you got to earn your way to Thrawn. Like Thrawn shouldn't be that easy for her to find. I would like it to be her going through a journey of finding him. We get to the finale, she finds him, but who stops her before she's able to do anything? Ezra, and she's now
the first Inquisitor.
Bro, how crazy would that be?
There's already been a first Inquisitor at that point. I just thought about that when I said it.
Inquisitor. But yeah, so I mean that's the rumor I'm hearing. But no, I mean this Kenobi series, it could do some really, really, really amazing things. I hope it retcons some things.
It will.
I'm putting as much pressure on the Kenobi show as I am the Flash movie. Retcon everything. Throw it all in the garbage. Start over again. But AJ, I'll go to you first. He made your list. So I mean, what are your thoughts on this Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
I love it. I'm just really I think I'm as excited as you, maybe even more. I always say that out loud.
Yeah.
I think for me, well, not just for me, but everybody has been talking about an Obi-Wan series for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
So no one can say that Disney did nothing for us, because we finally got the Obi-Wan series. Finally.
I mean, no, we got a conclusion to Clone Wars that we never
exactly.
So they've done a lot. They've done a lot, yeah.
Also, they're trying to recreate the Obi-Wan and Vader fight, or trying to make a new one. Regardless, it doesn't matter. We're still going to see that fight, which is really exciting, especially since it's going to be revamped into something even better. Did you guys watch the there was a fan-made Obi-Wan versus Vader, the old Obi-Wan versus Vader, which was really okay. I'll send it out, but it was really cool. But yeah, everything about this show has me excited. Are we seeing Luke, young Luke? We are seeing young Luke. Right? Or
Joel feels as though we will, or speculated we will. I've heard nothing about seeing a young Luke. I mean, to me, I would think, because they have encountered each other before the events of obviously the originals. But to me, I like the idea of it being later, of it not being necessarily now, of it being something that, or I would like it as the very last thing we see. Obi-Wan survives the season, goes back there. You know, we see him talking to, what is it, Uncle, what they call him? Uncle Owen? Was it Uncle Owen?
Uncle Ben?
Yeah, Owen.
Owen, yeah.
No, it's Owen. It's Owen.
Owen, yeah. Owen, yeah, it's Owen.
Him talking to Owen, and then like we seeing like this kid kind of like run past Owen and like hug Kenobi. Like that would be really heartwarming to end the season with. But to me, it needs to serve more of a purpose. Like I don't need to. I know Luke's there, right? Like in the general audience, they probably have no idea of where this lies timeline wise. So for us, I don't need to see it. I need it to mean something.
I don't think they'll interact actually, because in A New Hope, Luke only knows Ben as old Ben.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know. Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell Joel. When they came across each other, he doesn't know him as like this Jedi. He knows him as like this guy that's just looking over him. Like, hey, this is just this old Ben. How you doing? You know. So to me, he didn't know enough about him. So to me, it's like preserve that, you know.
But to see lightsaber battles in the desert again is going to be good to see, especially if we're getting Inquisitors and Obi-Wan is going to fight again. I've been getting into this a lot lately about hot toys. I need a hot toy of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I need a hot toy of all the Inquisitors because I've become addicted to hot toys, and that's all I need right now in my life.
Yeah, they are a shout out to AJ because they are a pretty penny. I'm gonna go broke when they drop the hot toys for the Batman. Oof, my bank account is
Pre-ordered that too, by the way. I pre-ordered the Nightmare Batman and the black suit Superman.
See, I wanted to do that, but I'm saving it for all the ones that come out for Matt Reeves' Batman. Like I want that Catwoman, I want that Penguin, I want the Riddler.
That's gonna be for a while. That's not gonna be for a while though.
I don't. I'm saving for it. It ain't gonna be cheap either. You know, millions of people.
No, so are you getting the Ahsoka one that's gonna be released soon?
I don't know. I'm. You know how much I love Ahsoka. I really love Ahsoka.
Did you get the Bo-Katan one?
Oh, the Bo-Katan one's already been purchased for sure. You're right. This AJ. Come on now. I even showed you the figure of Bo-Katan that I bought. I'm on a Bo-Katan high over here. You already know what's going on. But yeah, these hot toys, man, they are not cheap. They are almost, to some people, the equivalent of a cell phone bill. They are, no cheap. But Ash, I want to go to you. How excited are you for this Kenobi series, especially hearing the cast and some of the theories on who we think they could be?
I mean, I'm just excited that we get Kenobi. Like ever since, like I've just wanted to know, like with his time on Tatooine, like just hanging out there, like what the hell has he been up to? Because there's like, yeah, it's kind of like we used to like, yeah, he's been doing like, you know, the boring things, all this, like taking care of this person, whatever, you know, protecting Luke and all of that. Yeah. But like it just, to me, like I've always felt like he would want to do like more. I feel like he, like if push comes to shove, like he would want to do more. So like I'm just really excited to like see like how exactly like they explore that time. Like obviously like I'm hard excited to see Vader back on screen, to like see Hayden back as Vader, to see Ewan back as Obi-Wan. Like I just want to be able to like see those two, but I also love that we're getting freaking like Inquisitors like as well, and like we're not just like cartoons, we're getting like the live action version. And like if there's one thing that I know Star Wars does really well are those lightsaber scenes. So the fact that we're going to get Inquisitors, and we know like how they're like no holds bars, and it's just going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting. And like I'm excited to also like see like how they also like address like the flashback within the war, because like I think one of these castings has to be, what's her not oh my goodness, Satine. One of like, I think someone said like one of the castings like has to be Satine. Like they have to like address like that part of the war like with him. Like so I'm just excited to see what he's doing when he's doing it, but also like how do they address like the trauma that he has like from the war. So like I'm just excited for him in general.
So when you say Duchess Satine,
yeah,
you mean him having to live with her death and feeling responsible, or are you saying you want to see Satine again?
Oh, I want to see how him living with her, like living with the death and like feeling like responsible. Like I think there are so many different areas of Obi-Wan's life that the Clone Wars does like really well to like expand on, like we don't get to see like in the movies. Like I'm not that familiar like with him in the comics, so like, you know, there's a whole bunch there as well. But the fact that like we do like Clone Wars like do spend a good amount of time like on that arc, and like having to do that, like I think it's at least worth it for him to at least like acknowledge all of this freaking loss that he has like felt over time, because at some point something's got to, it's like for me something's got to explode. with him. There's like a point of tension that has to happen. So how are they going to address it? Because at some point, the war and where he's at, it's going to clash, and he's going to have to make a decision. So like that's what I'm excited to see there with him.
I mean,
he also hasn't had time to feel either. While being a Jedi, he was taught to like conceal all his emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he's secluded on Tatooine, and he's able to take time to just think about everything, think about life, think about everything in the war and stuff like that. That is the perfect time to go back and just go back and develop all the trauma he's conserved within himself and let it explode. I like that idea.
I mean, I even like the idea of him fighting an Inquisitor, maybe going too far. Obviously we know Jedi don't mind killing, but how they kill.
See.
Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
I would love to see all that anger just rush out of him while he's fighting the Inquisitor. I would love to see that. I think it'll be a cool thing to see, but story-wise, I think it will make sense to see him release all that anger that he had within himself.
Yeah, I mean, because the last time, I don't know, man, Obi-Wan's a really tricky character because we don't know of loss of any other Jedi outside of Anakin within the Clone Wars time, right? So it's like, you look at Obi-Wan, remember, we do see him again after the events of the first Battle of Mandalore, right? We see him again in season 7, same chipper, happy Obi-Wan Kenobi. He does not seem as though he has allowed it to affect him. So what I would twist on what you say is, I would like it if in his time of meditation, he's haunted by the voices of Satine or, Qui-Gon or Anakin, like the voices of people he's lost that he feels as though he's directly to blame. That way, because to me, he seems at peace, right? I need that peace to be disrupted.
Yes.
I need it to be, there's this one episode to where he's just meditating and trying to become one with the Force again, and you hear Qui-Gon say, "Why did you let me die?" You hear Duchess Satine say, "Why did you let me die?" You hear Anakin say, "Why did you let me die?" And it's something that's just pounding on him to where the next time he ignites that lightsaber, all the anger goes through to the lightsaber and he's just wailing, right? And he's just uncontrollable because we've never seen him vulnerable like that. And I want to see that. We didn't get it. That's the one thing I would always yell at Dave Filoni about if I ever got to talk to him. How did you have the Battle of Mandalore and we don't see Kenobi versus Darth Maul? Like, I wanted that in that moment. I wanted to see him have to try to use that anger or subdue it to just survive fighting him. But instead, we got a way cooler battle. Palpatine with 2 lightsabers? Are you serious? Oh, that was so good. R.I.P. to Savage. I loved you, Savage. But yeah, I do want to see that because we have not seen that. And that's the one thing I do want to see. We saw Mace Windu lose his temper. Where he was just like, "I'm gonna kill the Chancellor," and Anakin was just like, "Yeah, I kind of need him." Like,
for love.
I don't think that works.
Well, Mace Windu always dabbled in the dark side.
I mean, AJ, we saw him commit a no-no in the original Star Wars, the Clone Wars cartoon. You guys remember what the no-no was?
What he? I know it. It's my memory's not there though.
He force crushed Grievous's heart. It's why he had the breathing problem.
Yeah.
He committed. So, all right. So, Ash, because I know a lot of people watching this probably aren't familiar either. So, one of the no-nos of the Jedi Order was you can't force crush any living being.
Yeah, I know that.
Grievous had a heart. He's a living being. He's not a robot. So that's why when Luke did it, it was just like, okay, that's fine. He did it to troopers, like, robot troopers.
Yeah.
But Windu was doing it on Grievous, who had a beating heart.
I'm gonna need to go back and rewatch that episode because I'm pretty sure if I've rewatched it, I'm like, oh yeah, he did do that shit. Like, absolutely he did. But yeah, he has always been And I feel like he's always been on like playing both sides. Like he does a really good job of walking the line.
Which is crazy because his number one skill, besides him being the most gifted blade wielder in Star Wars history, is the idea that he is the one that's very talented in Force lightning manipulation. But that means you would have had to have come in contact with Force lightning enough to be that talented in it. So it's like and the craziest thing is Windu always reacted off of emotion. To tell Anakin that we don't react off emotion. Just like, I see why he was just like, I got a chance to kill Windu, I'm taking it. Just like, every time Windu would go, shut up and stay in your place. And Anakin would just go, that's emotion. Like, is no one going to say anything? That's emotion. It's like no one ever called out Mace Windu. I think everyone, here's the thing.
Everybody was scared of him.
He was the only black Jedi, so they were just like, hey, he's black and a weapon? Relax, guys. Oof. We don't know what he's liable to do. But I always thought that was
true. That is true. It's like all the black people in Star Wars win instinct. We get a lot of black characters in High Republic.
Yeah.
And then they all just vanished, killed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we get to the prequels, so it's.
I mean, apparently, Star Trek and Star Wars are trying to tell us that a future has only room for
no
one
black
person.
Nope.
Only one. You got Aurora in Star Trek, I think is her name, and then you got Windu in Star Wars. It's like.
Oh, we got Lando too.
Excuse me, we also have Finn.
Yeah, we do have Finn. Yeah.
It doesn't exist in my world. I'm sorry.
Wait, what's your issue with Finn?
My issue with Finn is he's part of a trilogy I don't believe exists outside of Kylo. The rest of that doesn't exist. That Luke doesn't exist. That Leia doesn't exist. Han dying doesn't exist. All that's in the garbage. None of that's canon. Just Kylo. That's it. He's the one thing.
Too bad for you. It does all exist.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you believe Kylo Ren exists, then you believe that Han
all of
died.
it exists. Yeah.
So you're saying that if I let go of my love of Kylo, in my mind, all of it can go in the garbage. Because
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I don't love Kylo enough to accept those three movies, so I'll for sure let him go. He can go too. He's gone. I'm gonna throw this figure of him that I got. But no, Star Wars, I do believe is on the right track. I do believe that I am really excited for Patty Jenkins' Squadrons movie. I really
she is doing Squadrons.
Yeah, I really do hope that we get because remember how they were saying the show that Gina Carano's character is supposed to be the lead of.
I know what you're talking about.
We are all blanking. Goodness gracious. Whatever it was, she was supposed to be the lead of a new Star Wars show. There were rumors they were replacing her with Hera. I remember telling Joelle when that news came out, Hera should be used in Squadrons. That's the perfect
Rogue Squadrons. That's what it is.
Huh?
Isn't it Rogue Squadrons?
No. That's Daddy's movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The one. I'm looking.
It's about. It's supposed to be about. Remember the position she was given.
Is it a bounty?
No, it was the Rangers of the New Republic or something.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Rangers of the New Republic, something like that. That was all off mine. I don't even have my phone on. I wasn't even Googling that.
It is called that.
It is?
Yeah.
But I thought Hera is better off used in Squadrons because when you think about Squadrons, it's a movie about flight pilots, right?
And
they're supposed to be in the galaxy, depending on what timeline she uses. There is no better pilot in that time other than Hera. That was the whole thing of, well, that's because no one really knew Luke like that at that point. Because Luke.
Yeah, I was gonna say you forgot about Luke.
Wait, all right, hold on, Ash. I want to ask you first. Kylo, Rey, Han, Luke, Anakin, Hera. Who's the better pilot?
Anakin, by far.
Wow. I'm gonna say Han.
You think Han's a better pilot?
I think Han is the most creative out of all of them, yes.
So you don't think he was outdone by Rey?
No. I think Han
Ray,
was,
someone who has never flown a ship before, immediately was just like, I know everything. It was just like,
well, that wasn't very believable for the plot.
Actually, I would say Poe. I'm gonna change my answer to Poe. Actually,
Poe
to do multiple. What is it called? Time jumps or space jumps, whatever it's called.
It was
hyper jumping. Yeah.
Yeah, to do multiple of those and still survive, I think is one of the biggest feats for pilots to do, regardless. Anakin only did the spinny move, which was not even cool. That was.
First of all,
we're not.
Sir,
hey, let me just spin around.
We're not.
That's all he did.
We are not going to go there.
Spinny moves, okay? You're gonna show Anakin some respect. Those were.
That's all he did. Tell me anything else that he did.
Maneuvers, okay?
There were spinning moves.
Technically, we don't know that Han never did that. We just know that we've never seen Han do it.
Wait, Han do what?
Space skipping that Poe was.
No, I said Poe.
No, I'm saying we don't know that Han was never able to do that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it was already established that he has done that, but not as much as Poe has done it. Like I think he's done it like once or twice. It was.
If they've both done it, you know what it comes down to, AJ? It comes down to who's cooler, and it goes to Han. Han's cooler.
It was Poe. It was Poe.
Poe is cooler than Han?
No, for the pilot thing, yes. I'm not talking about the characters. I'm just talking about specifically pilots.
I was gonna say, relax. All right, so Ash, you said Anakin.
Absolutely.
AJ, you said Poe. I'm gonna go Luke. Because at the end of the day,
y'all going both with the two spinny things. Okay, the spinny moves. That's all they've done is spinny moves.
I'm gonna go Luke because out of all the pilots, none of them have ever accomplished something like Luke has.
Well, Han,
that's what we're going with.
Han saved his ass. So if you want to say anything,
Who blew it up, AJ? Who blew it up, AJ? Who blew it up, AJ?
Not Luke.
Who blew it up, AJ?
Luke did.
All right,
but without Han,
without
Han,
I'm just saying right now, if
go ahead, I'm sorry, Ash.
I'm just saying right now, if you put Anakin in Luke's position, Anakin wouldn't have needed as long to take, the
crazy thing.
Anakin would have done it. I'm not
absolutely would have done it.
Crazy thing is though, Ash, Anakin was in the movie. Did he win at the end of the day? No, Luke did, right?
He's the bad guy. Come on.
Was it Han? Was it Han that beat him? Who was the one that beat Vader? Was it Han?
It was Luke that beat Vader.
It was Han.
How did Han beat Vader?
Luke was focused on a Death Star. Han is the one that shot Vader to make him miss.
So, who killed Vader? Who killed Vader?
Stop.
We're talking about pilots. We're not talking about fighting.
Pilots.
Their question was pilots.
Okay. All right. If we're gonna keep it to pilots, who got out of his ship and then killed Vader? That's Luke. That was Luke. He's better than all your other pilots. All right. So
if you want to be technical, Luke didn't kill Vader. Vader, he lifted up Palpatine. Lightning, technically Palpatine did that,
Sorry, because of whose death did it?
So that's how we're going now. So if we're
pause.
So if we're going in that direction, who shot at Vader so Luke missed?
I mean, at the end of the day,
you can't go around it. You can't go
exactly.
around it.
So if you want to go that route with Luke and Vader, John, you gotta go that.
If you want to go that way, Ash. I remember there was a certain someone who said, "I'm not cut out for this war. I'm leaving." And I remember there being a certain Jedi who said something to Han to make him rethink leaving the war and to stay and help out. Was that?
Technically, Han's background wasn't cut out for the war anyway.
Was Luke cut out for a war? The guy that
his
never
father.
used the lightsaber.
I just want to say there's no backlash with Poe, and I chose Poe, who is obviously the better choice.
I have backlash for Poe. I have backlash.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
He's trying to be Han. He just wants to be Han. That's it. Simple.
He does. Okay. We're going by that.
Uh-huh.
Does Kobe try to be like Michael? Because he does, and Kobe becomes better than Michael. Kobe becomes better than Michael.
That is never the case.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
he does.
Never the case. No one
yes,
has
he
ever
does.
said, rest in peace, but no one has ever said that. Ever.
Kobe is better than Michael. Just like Poe is better than Han at being a pilot.
If he were here, AJ, he would say, no, not better than him. Not better than him. I tried to, but I wasn't. He was not.
Michael said that he would win though.
That who would win?
Kobe would win.
When did he say that?
I'll send you the
Okay, because if it was anywhere around the untimely death of Kobe and he said that, I'd understand. But in his right mind,
that was his right mind. That was his right mind.
It was his grief mind. And back to Star Wars, no one's cooler than Han. No one's better than Han.
No one's arguing who's cooler. We're arguing who's the better pilot.
Who shot first in AJ? All right, then.
It wasn't Han.
It wasn't Han. Right, it wasn't Han. You know it wasn't Han. Don't shoot first. We react. But no, I mean, I think we all can agree we are really excited for what Star Wars is doing. I wish it was a little bit more cohesive. I wish they had more faith in their movies as they do the shows that they're adapting. Mm-hmm. AJ, I am not liking anything of these new books. I mean,
the books.
No, don't say that because they're on my list for this summer. So don't tell me that.
Did you read?
One thing you hold on, AJ. One thing, Ash, you'll learn about me. My dislikes, I will never project to someone else. Beautiful. Read them because if you like them, I love it. Like if you like it, I love it.
Beautiful.
I do not like them.
See, I love the Light of the New Republic. That just came out.
What is I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil it for Ash. But AJ, I will tell you separately off air what are some of the things I strongly dislike.
Did you read the comic? Did you read the
yes.
the comic? Okay.
Yep. I like the Vader work they're doing. Keep doing that. That's great. But outside of that, is there anything else Star Wars related you guys wanted to add, talk about, throw in, anything? Oh wait!
The fact that we're
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I said the fact that we're getting Sith-related Star Wars. I'm happy. The Acolyte.
Bro, I'm telling you this right now. I've said this before, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If Lord Plagueis is not in that series, throw the whole series in the garbage. It's in Lord Plagueis. I don't need him to be a focus. I don't even need him to be a big person in it. I need to see Plagueis because he's alive and well during the time of this show. Mm-hmm. And we even know that Palpatine is alive and well during the time of the show. He's not Sidious, obviously.
He's not Sidious. He's a bitch.
Right. Speaking of Palpatine, I want a Palpatine show. I want a Palpatine show before he becomes Sidious. I want to watch him worm his way up and massacre all those people that he does.
Yeah, because
so you want to see him like enter the government and just overthrow everybody and
like I want to see his rise towards that. Like I think Palpatine's rise towards that is so freaking interesting, and that's what I would want to see.
I'll take it purely because all I want to see is him kill Plagueis. That's it. That's what I want to see. I want to see him play mental chess with Plagueis and then carry on to becoming not only the Sith Lord Sidious.
Plagueis was a bitch. That's all I have to say.
How do you figure that, AJ?
Plagueis killed. I got him mixed up. My bad. Not Plagueis. I was talking about Sidious.
I still don't understand what you're saying about Sidious.
Sidious killed his master in his sleep. That's a bitch move right there.
Listen, Sidious was out here having his apprentice kill each other.
All I'm saying is, I tell you this right now. I will tell you this right now. If you are that much stronger than me, like how Plagueis was that much stronger than Palpatine, I'd probably go for you in your most vulnerable time, on the toilet, in the shower, sleeping. That's when I would try to take you out. Are you serious? You're stronger than
what I don't understand is how is all these oh my god, Sith Lords able to die so easily. You got Snoke that died.
That's the thing. It's think about how they're dying. It's in their most intimate and vulnerable moments. It's not like,
but that's stupid.
That's the only believable way. Because to me, if they told me right now in the comics, Plagueis fought Palpatine straight up and Palpatine won, I wouldn't buy it.
I wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't buy it. He's just too powerful.
Right,
and
also
have to have killed him in his mental,
Yeah, and almost all of the deaths are in some way of like deception, right? And like where like almost every single one of the Sith Lords that got killed by their apprentice or whatever, they all believed so deeply that their Sith, that their apprentice was loyal to them, that the fact that that was so loyal to them that they never, that like they didn't anticipate that happening. Or if they did, it's just, it was one of those things that they expected, right? Because they're always, I don't know. That's like where.
This, Ash. Let's go through this. Plagueis died in his sleep due to Palpatine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine died in his vulnerable state of thinking Vader would kill Luke, not knowing Vader would turn on him. That's a vulnerable moment, right? Vader died in a vulnerable moment to be being vulnerable to Sidious, then using Force lightning. Snoke, vulnerable, never would have dreamt that Kylo would turn on him. Even though it was really weird because earlier in that movie he goes, "I know what you're thinking. I'm able to think ahead of you." And then Kylo was just,
I don't want to talk about that plot hole.
Kylo was like, "Oh, really?"
But that's deception. That's what you guys
I mean,
it
is. Yeah, it is deception. It is deception.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But
it is.
Again, another vulnerable moment. Even though it wasn't by another dark side user, Maul only died in a moment of vulnerability. In a moment where he's just like, "Yeah, I won. You're down there. In mere minutes, I'll kill you too." And then it was just like, no. So he was vulnerable. Kylo died being vulnerable. I think Ash is onto something. I don't think there's a dark force wielder that has died straight up. I think it's all been vulnerable.
But that's what I need to see though. Like we only get one badass moment in all of Star Wars with the Sith, which is Palpatine versus Darth Maul and Savage, which was amazing. But if one person can't be a Sith Lord, then try to figure out a way to bring in someone else that matches their strengths to fight another Sith Lord. I just want to see a fight that can rival any other fight with a Sith Lord.
I get what you're saying, but because you're a Sith, it's something your master shouldn't and wouldn't see coming. That's why it's always written that way, because it's supposed to be, because if they fight straight up, remember what Dooku told Savage when he was training him, when Savage was like, "Whoa, I can do this stuff with the Force," and Dooku's like, "Yeah." Savage is like, "Tell me more." He's like, "I don't divulge all my secrets, because it's like if I do, you'll turn on me at some point, because you'll become corrupt with power, right?" So every single master has thought the same. I can't teach you everything, because if the day comes where you're like, "Yo, straight up, catch me with the fade," they're like, you're younger, it's a chance you'll be able to get over on me. So it's why every student has waited for them to become vulnerable.
But wouldn't you think that if they were able, even if it was by mere coincidence, wouldn't you rather them beat them in battle rather than them just?
For sure, but
obviously we would want that, but I think at the end of the day, I don't know, and I mean, I would need to do more of my own research, but I think that the master would overcome the apprentice, right? Like we got to see some of it in Clone Wars as well. Like I think the master would ultimately overcome the.
There's a saying.
I'll give you a quick example before you even go. I'll give you a quick example. If Maul and Savage had beaten Palpatine, I wouldn't have bought that. Are you serious? What? One is a new user of the Force in the dark side. The other one died and is trying to like,
it's a cyborg.
everything. Right. And it's trying to recoup everything he learned. And they beat Palpatine at his height? No. Not even Vader could beat Palpatine at his height.
Look, but the way I look at it is that Darth Maul, or I wouldn't even say Darth Maul at this point. I would just say Maul. Maul and Savage, they weren't under. Well, Maul wasn't under Sidious that long to learn enough. Where Palpatine was Sidious, Plagueis' apprentice longer, which I think would make more sense for him to at least stand a chance. There's a saying that evolution always wins. There's a certain point where the master stops growing, and then the apprentice just continues to evolve. They don't have to go on.
No, I was just gonna compare it to, I know how much you love anime. That happens in anime all the time, to where the younger character's like, ho, you old, I got you. And then all of a sudden the older character
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I never taught you that I could fight with my toenails, did I? And then all of a sudden he's like throwing like these toenail blades at him, and then like beats him. So there's always a trump card, no matter how old you get. There's always that one little bit of knowledge that you didn't pass on that you can use to your advantage. And
example, Palpatine, right? The whole reason he like got Vader was because like he preyed on the fact that Vader wanted his wife to live, like, and all of that, right? Why didn't Palpatine tell Vader about being able to, like, you know, cast your soul or your spirit, whatever, into whatever it is, in order to be reborn?
Right.
Well, like, why didn't Palpatine teach that? So like there are things that the Sith Lords, whatever, they won't teach their apprentice, because there's a certain point where you will know that's going to happen. I mean, Palpatine did it to Plagueis, right? Like Plagueis taught him everything that he knew, or whatever the line was that Palpatine had said.
But the thing with Vader is that he wanted to stay in that machine. He didn't want anything else rather than that, because he felt responsible for. He just felt responsible for what happened to himself. So especially since that the robotics, his robotic parts are what fuels his anger, which will make more sense for him to even overpower Palpatine in a way, because he's able to tap in that anger a lot stronger than, I would even say, Palpatine or even Snoke or whoever.
I think that's to Ash's point a little bit. I think Palpatine knew deep down that Vader was stronger than him. So there were certain things Palpatine could never allow Vader to know, to do, because at any point, like you're saying, AJ, at any point Vader could have walked in the throne room and be like, "Yo, me, you, hands right now," and Palpatine would be like, "Ugh, I don't."
But that's another thing. I don't think Vader would have won, even though he has more hatred than Palpatine. That's why he. Hold on.
What Vader are we talking about?
That's why. Huh?
What Vader are we talking about? Like, what stage in him being Vader? Because the Vader that killed Obi-Wan, that Vader, and then the Vader in the very next movie is definitely strong enough to kill Palpatine, for sure. 100%.
And Return. Is it Return?
Yeah.
Yeah, Return.
Return of the Jedi, the last one?
Yep.
Then no.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back Vader that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Now that's why I believe that Vader was trying to recruit Luke. And I think that would have made more sense for Luke and Vader to work together. Well, Vader would train Luke.
I mean, he did. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Continue. No, continue.
No, you can go.
No, go. Finish your thought.
I lost my train of thought anyway. Go on.
No, I was going to say, because you brought up Luke, I was like, that's the same thing that he did, right, with Star Killer, like, as well, right, like, in training him, like, he thought, like, at some point that, like, he would be strong enough, like, they would be able to, like, overthrow Palpatine and all of that. But obviously, like, Palpatine, like, he knew, like, I genuinely believe Palpatine's like one of the strongest Siths in the entire universe, like, in the entire universe. He absolutely is. And I think because of that, he played the game way better than any of them. So I think, like, I would say that maybe, yes, Vader would be able to kill him, but I think that we genuinely like haven't, at least in the movies and like the shows that we've gotten, like really seen like the extent to Palpatine's power. The sequel trilogy tried to do it, but they really fell on their face with that. But I think it would have been a really, really hard battle for Vader to have won.
That's what that would have made it more interesting, though. Wouldn't you think that Vader would have had a tougher time? Oh my God, sorry. But Vader being known as one of the strongest Sith apprentices, or just Sith in general, having a tough time versing his master, I think that would have been more interesting than Vader Sidious dying by being thrown from the Death Star. At least to me, I feel like if they went head to head, that would have been more interesting than what we got. But
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying it's just not how Star Wars is genetically made up.
Yeah.
It's always
that's why we need to change it. That's why we need to.
I don't know, man. It's been working. I love the
formula. Lucas curse. That's why I've been saying it's the George Lucas curse.
I like the idea. I'm gonna catch you slipping. I like it. You don't see it coming. You can't.
Honestly, it really is, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, just thinking again as a writer, like a story writing perspective, every single one of those Sith have a weakness. Like they all have a weakness. Palpatine's is that he has the ability to like turn any person that he can into a Sith, but we know he failed like two and a half. Sorry, two and a. Okay, wait. No.
Failed a lot.
Yeah, he failed a lot. I was trying to remember who, right? Like they each have their own flaws and they each have their own whatever. And I think that their apprentice uses that to their advantage to like get them. Right. So like, I don't know. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I would have loved to see Vader and Maul versus Palpatine. That's all I'm saying. I would love to see Vader and Maul versus Palpatine.
Yeah, I can't see that. Like I just can't. Like, and I don't know like what would get
to each other.
Yeah.
They're too much of a threat to each other. It's why Maul was trembling in fear.
But that's why they're saying the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever.
Right. Unfortunately, you have to remember that's too fresh after Anakin views Palpatine still as a friend. The enemy of my enemy becomes later down the road, where Vader's just like, I could probably take you. I could probably beat your ass. Right?
But he doesn't think that though.
Later.
He only thinks he can take him with Luke.
It's not canon, but it was in Force Unleashed when he was talking to
Sarko,
and he was just like, yo, we should dog him right now, yo. And Sarko was like, I'm ready, and he's like, nah, I'm not there.
Yeah,
I'm not ready. I can't do it. But last thing I wanted to talk about is we did get the news that we will be getting an open world Star Wars game. I've only been.
Has that been confirmed?
Yeah. That was confirmed. Yeah, we're getting an open.
Oh, why am I doing this now?
I'm like, you could just say how happy you are. Why are you doing noise? I'm just saying. But AJ, me and you talked about this a while ago. I said
so long.
I wanted a Bane Red Dead Redemption type of open world Star Wars game, where instead of a horse, you have your own ship and you can fly it to wherever you want to fly it to. And I know a lot of people were like, well, how do you do that? Like, because in Grand Theft Auto, you can fly like a plane from like city to city, but not like from another state to another state. And I said, honestly, as long as I can fly around the planet that I'm on my ship, and then like if I want to go to a different planet, you just show it like zipping to another. I'm fine with that. I don't need
like Destiny style where you can choose a planet and it'll just fly. It'll give you like a loading screen of them flying.
Right. As long as when I get to the planet, I can fly around on the Millennium Falcon or whatever ship that I have. I'm fine with that.
See, I was thinking on your way, I was thinking like No Man's Sky type of thing, where you can just fly and go to different planets on its own, and you can just travel around that specific planet.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool as well. Have it like
to me,
a
I
Red
think
Dead.
the best thing is don't start with a Jedi game, only because it'll make or break you. It'll either be something that will make you billions of dollars or something that'll bankrupt you. Start off something small. Do an open world bounty hunter game where you can either be a respectable bounty hunter or the scum of the earth, right? And it's again, it's like Red Dead Redemption. You can save people or you can rob people. So whatever you want to do. But I
think we already got a beta test for Jedi though.
Say it again.
I think we already had a perfect beta test for Jedi though. With God, what is the game called? The one that just came out. Kyle Kestis was in it.
Fallen Order.
Yeah. I believe that was definitely a beta test for an open world game. And
see, but I'm not saying a Jedi open world couldn't work. I'm saying you're just putting all your chips in the middle of the table. Let that be something you work your way up to. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, like I said, if it does not hit, like I'll give you a perfect example. That last, what is it? That last Star Wars game, not Fallen Order, not the one with the
Are you talking about the ships?
No.
The one with the ships?
No, not Squadron. It was the one where Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2. No one liked that game. No one liked that game. Not a soul. Not a soul like that game.
I wouldn't say no one. There's still a lot of people that
So
play.
AJ, you liked the game.
Yeah, pretty much is what AJ said. People didn't.
I haven't played the game in like 3 years.
Let me say this. I just beat Fallen Order, right? And I wasn't even playing it like straight. I'm actually, AJ, I just bought Valhalla. I finally got a new TV, so I bought Valhalla. I wanted to see it in its best.
I haven't played it yet. I still need to get it.
I just got it, and I've died at least 90 times since I got it. But the point I'm making is Fallen Order is such a short game. If you play it right through, you could finish it within like 3 or 4 hours, right? No one cared because people were wanting a good Star Wars game because of how bad Battlefront was. That they were just desperate for a good Star Wars game. So when Fallen Order came, albeit it is fun, no one cared about how short it was because it was just so much better than what they had just gotten. But an open world Jedi thing to me is a little difficult because here's why it's gonna be troubling. I like the idea of you making it with bounty hunters because you can do good or bad, right? It's a really hard sell for you to put Jedi in a game and for people to go, well, I want to just rip my lightsaber through whoever and become like a bad guy. It's like, I don't know if that's what they want to do. I think you would want it to be, because think about all their games. It's been good guys. You've not been able to play as a main character as a bad guy.
You can do it like Assassin's Creed. Why not?
How are you selling that to children, AJ?
Fuck the children. Hey, they got Fallen Order. They'll be fine.
Wow. Okay. I mean, look, I don't.
It feel like that sometimes.
I wasn't gonna be the one to say it, but okay, yeah, sure, yeah, F them. But no, it's a hard sell. It's easier to sell the bounty hunter one. The same way, the Mandalorian isn't a children's friendly show, but it also isn't like an adult friendly show either. But you're able to get away with it. Why? Because kids associate Star Wars with lightsabers. So since there are,
I will argue that kids play Grand Theft Auto a lot, though.
Yeah.
Here's the
Grand
problem.
Theft Auto is
Here's the problem, though, that I think you're not understanding me on. Grand Theft Auto is not made for kids. AJ is my point.
It's not made for kids. You're right, but kids still play it. Parents don't care.
If you're doing a Star Wars game, you do if it has Jedi, because that's what kids attribute Star Wars to. You do want it to be something they can play. But if it's bounty hunters, the same way the Mandalorian is different than what kids know Star Wars to be, you could do more. You could kill people in the Mandalorian and no one's like, oh, but the kids. Like, no one cares, right? So to me, it's like you do a bounty hunter game, you slap an MA tag on it if you need to. I'm not even saying it has to be MA. But slap whatever tag on it you want. Fine. But you put a Jedi in that game that you can play as, they're going to market it for
Why can't you have somebody that's in the gray area?
Who would you suggest? Who do you think would be in the gray area?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
Quinlan Voss.
Quinn Voss. I was gonna say Asajj because she does become a bounty
That
hunter.
too.
Yeah,
They can do both. They both had a relationship, so hey.
They did. I read that book, by the way, and I hate that guy. I really, really, really hate that guy. Oh, man,
Quinlan Voss. You think Quinlan Voss?
Yes. You know what's crazy? I was watching the episode. Remember the episode where Cad Bane was trying to hunt down Jabba's uncle or something? And that was when he made his debut in Clone Wars. I watched it the other day and spit at the screen because I hate that guy so much. He's the reason Asajj Ventress died. She died to protect him. And I'm just like, why? Let him die. No one cares.
Listen, I'm still pissed that they had her die in a freaking book.
Right? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I will never forget them.
I am waiting for him to go, robot legs. She's alive. Come on, Dave, do it. We love Asajj. Give her robot legs.
Listen, if they can bring back Bubba after they dropped them in that little pit thing.
Yeah, the little Sarlacc pit.
Why can't y'all bring back my girl? Listen, we don't need the book to be canon. Retcon it.
Throw the book away. Throw Voss away. Throw the writer in the garbage. All of that can go in.
Voss will always still be there because he was in
No. I want him nowhere near Asajj Ventress. I need him.
She deserves better.
I need him so far, AJ. I need him so far away. He's now in Star Trek. That's what I need. I need him now to be a Star Trek character. And so he's away from Star Wars. I need Asajj Ventress back. Let's make it happen. Restore the Ventress. Hashtag restore the Ventress. Restore the Ventress. And then we get Zack Snyder to sign off on it. We'll be good, man. We'll be good. Because all he has to do is come out and say, I want to direct an Asajj Ventress movie. And all his fandom.
Oh my God. Can you? Oh my God. Can you?
I don't want an Asajj Ventress directed by Zack Snyder. I do not want that.
Well, I'm going to say this, Ash. You asked, can you imagine? One of the photos Zack dropped when he was directing BVS was Henry Cavill in Sith robes with like a red lightsaber. That was like one of the photos that he had taken of him.
Listen, I will tell you this.
Broke.
For someone, and I mean, I love Zack Snyder. I genuinely do. As someone who invests a lot in world building in his films, he would do really well with Star Wars because so much of the audience investment is in the world that you're building. And I could see him taking like Asajj or some other character or whatever and build that world around them. Like I could see something like Rogue One, but on a grander.
Only reason I would say, Ash, I don't know if Zack Snyder would want to do Star Wars. There's not enough buildings to blow up. Star Wars doesn't have buildings like that. So it's like
planets.
Every contract Zack signs is I need a minimum of one full state to be.
We can planets.
Just blowing up full planet. All right there. Okay. We're going to leave it there, Ash. That is wow. Ash is just like kids. Bump the
mass genocide. That's where we're at right now.
Woo, okay. We took a left turn here. All right. This was a great bounce back episode for Star Wars Saturday. I want to thank our guest and hopefully faithful contributor to the Star Wars Saturday show, Ash.
I will be here. Thank you. If you want me here, I will be here. I enjoyed this. This was amazing.
Absolutely.
Wait 1 second, and I'm not advocating for the destruction of
I don't know. That seems like it's attached to your name now. Ash the Planet Destroyer. That's now like a thing. It's now, hashtag restore the planets, But we definitely have to get you on for me, you and AJ to talk some DC. I do believe, Ash, that you are such a DC fan that there are certain things I need to argue with you.
Oh.
Because I do think your love for DC kind of clouds a few things.
Oh.
So I want us to break that down for sure. Because I know when we did the podcast, when we last did the podcast together, all of you were like, "Yeah, bring Zach back," and I remember I was just like, ugh.
No, I want
Zach back. Is that what you said?
Yeah, some of them
said
bring
Zach back.
Yeah.
I
absolutely get him as far away as possible. I got my Snyder cut now.
Let Ash finish. Go ahead, Ash.
I want him back. However, I do not trust WB at all to let him do and like share his vision with other directors. Like, I don't want him back as like the only director. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. I want him back as one of the people that can help other directors like build out this world in a cohesive manner, right? Like that's like where I would want him back to like give that advice, to like be there. Like I want his story. Yeah, like I want his story to be told. Like he doesn't have to be dictating how everything, but because I genuinely believes he understands the characters, he understands the worlds, the comics, like he will do his research. Why not have him there to like be that person to like help push this forward in a way that's cohesive and not a hot ass mess, to be frank. WB, just saying. What you doing?
I'm with you. You can't get worse than what they're trying to do right now. So I will say that you can't get worse. But
I wouldn't say that they're doing worse because they're still stuck in the past. Walter Hamada is trying to get out of the past. It's thanks to
what plan?
Huh?
What plan? What's his plan to get out of the past?
Well, we're getting Batman. We're getting the Gotham City series. We're getting Green Lantern Corps. That's all Walter Hamada. But everything else previous to that was just a whole bundled mess. Well, and that was thanks to
I'm gonna say this.
Go on.
Hamada is who's in charge right now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Hamada is the one that's been coming out and speaking, correct? Would you like to know the one thing Hamada has not spoken to? Continuity. Every time he speaks, I hear multiverse this, multiverse that.
And I think, and that's the biggest problem, that if you're like a DC fan, that you have the issue with, that there's no continuity. That's all we want. Like give continuity. Like you already have a framework and a groundwork for that continuity with Zach's story. There's so many doors open for there. Why not take that? But he doesn't have continuity. So yeah, he can like put out all of these movies and they'll do great or whatever the case is, but do they actually tie into a storyline like they do in the comics?
And that's
what we're trying to figure out right now.
But he doesn't have a plan.
Well, no.
Not that we know of. Not that we know of.
Let's say this, Ash, because Joel said this to me. He has a plan, right? Just doesn't mean he has a good one.
Here we go. Doesn't have a good plan.
We'll wait to see what the plan is.
All I'm saying is that he's not sharing everything with us. Just because we don't know what the plan is doesn't mean that.
But here's my thing.
I love what you're doing, AJ, because we need more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like your positive outlook on what you want things to be. I'm more so, I strictly go off of what you're saying, not off of what might still be like in the horizon. I can only go off of what you're saying. And when you're telling me that we have a Superman, but you're giving us another one, we have a Batman, but you're bringing in two more, it makes me feel as though you just want to throw as many things at the wall, and see whatever the critics and fans say, we like that and that, you'll go, okay, I'm going to keep that, and everything else can go.
Yeah,
I don't want to get invested in characters. You won't be bringing, like, perfect example, AJ, I told you yesterday. If you're giving me Static Shock, I'm right there with you, AJ. I love Static Shock. I fan casted Donald Glover maybe almost 10 years ago to be Static Shock. I thought he would have been perfect. But to me, and I had Michael Cera as his partner from the animated show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought those two would have been hilarious together. But my point is, I don't want to generate care about this Static Shock only for Hamada to come out and go, Well, that's on Earth 7. That's not the main
Yeah,
continuity.
I get you on that.
Yeah, and my thing is also with that, since BVS came out and they're like, oh nope, we got to switch, we got to change everything, yada yada yada. They had from 2016 to now to get that shit together. Excuse my language, right?
No,
they came out, they said that they were doing New Gods in 2018. They just canceled it this week, even, and said that they can't do it because of XYZ, right? So yes, they have a plan. Maybe they're not sharing all of it with us, but what we are seeing, there's a lack of continuity. And I like what you said, like, I don't want to fall in love like with this character here and then want more, and then all of a sudden I'm getting another reboot of the same story.
Yep.
Like, I don't need 10 different Batmans, I don't need 10 different Supermans, I don't need 10 different Aquamans or whatever. I want to see this world that you're building, that you're talking about, this multiverse that you're talking about, how do they coincide with each other? And that's not what we're getting, unfortunately. So like, that's, yeah.
So loop is back around. It's the same issue I have with Star Wars. Your movies can be cohesive, your movies can be good. First thing you need to do is your very first movie, let us wait a little bit longer. It needs to be at least 5 years before you put out another Star Wars movie. Let your first movie be Knights of the Old Republic. I'm telling you, all the fans that argued about whether The Last Jedi was good, whether the trilogy was good, if they like the prequels, that whole fan base will all come together for Knights of the Old Republic. I promise. It's the one thing all of us unanimously want.
Exactly. I was like, think about how many like people like are calling like for other things outside of like just the main right movies. Like, if you literally take that word, like, look what they're doing, like they're bringing out more High Republic things, right? Like, and people, like, regardless if you end up liking it or not, you're eating it up. Right. Take that same thing to the movies, right? Like, look at how well Rogue One was received, right? Like, that was do more of that. Like, tell like those like non-main stories, or go back in time and explore that past that you haven't like really like people haven't gotten to see. Because imagine like how many more people would be invested and like interested.
The issue I have though is Warner Brothers never had confidence in the previous leadership. And that's why we didn't get that. I don't think Zack Snyder's, how do I do this? I don't think Zack Snyder's like universe, I think it was good, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. Like, I have major flaws with Batman vs. Superman specifically, and the connection with it with Man of Steel, even though Man of Steel is my favorite comic book movie of all time. But I just feel like their confidence in Zack Snyder, their confidence and just letting DC do its thing, it just messed up the whole flow of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they bring in Walter Amada. And yes, I do agree that it's all over the place right now, but it's all over the place because the lack of confidence.
I'm still of the mindset I would have preferred if Zach did in a one-off trilogy where he did Dawn of Justice, which was the idea of these guys coming together to stop Steppenwolf. Same thing. Your sequel called Injustice, where it's obviously everything's gone wrong. It's this weird reality.
But that's what he was doing anyway. He was doing like an Injustice storyline.
No. Only thing I'm changing is the idea that his 3 movies aren't connected to anything. It's literally just those 3.
Okay.
Right. So you can treat it as an Elseworld movie, and you can treat it as a movie that's in another part of the multiverse that doesn't really have to connect.
That's all I ask.
See, I feel like the simplest way is to create a world within the world. So you have a Superman movie, create a specific world for Superman, and then let it connect to like a Batman type world. Like in the comics, Metropolis is a totally different type of thing with within Gotham, and that's the same with Flash's City. I can't remember Flash's City.
Central.
Central City. They're completely different, but when they do a Justice League movie, it feels cohesive. But with the movies, I think they're trying to combine everything, which I don't think it feels right with the DC. Marvel's doing it perfectly.
See, here's my thing, and that's like, and that's where I'm gonna push back. Where a lot of, and you can let me know if like I'm interpreting this wrong as well. I feel as if a lot of people want DC to give individual movies that lead up to this one big movie, aka the Marvel template.
Yeah,
that's not the case, right? If anything, you see through whether or not you like his movie or not, you see through Zack Snyder's Justice League that you can build a team like that, and you don't need to go to individual movies to build them up. You don't need to give them a conflict within each other to get them working with each other. They have the conflict, but it's not within themselves. Well, collectively and individually, they got their shit that they're dealing with, but they're coming together to defeat this one big evil or whatever, right? Whereas, and he's able to do that in one movie. I don't think DC needs to follow that Marvel template. The reason why
I will argue that Marvel broke that template though with James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. We didn't get solo movies for Groot. We didn't get solo movies for Star-Lord. They were just together. We did get backstories with them in one movie, but it flowed well perfectly to become one movie, and they becoming one team.
Quick question. Are they always go back? Actually, no. I can see your point there, but I'm not a Marvel person, so I'm not even going to speak to like how they structured and like how they brought in like their characters and everything. But I'm saying from genetic makeup and how like DC tells stories and like what we've seen that they can do like really well, like if they give the chance, like if they trust the directors, if they trust first and foremost the fans, right? Like if they trust those two things, they'll be good. But they don't have that trust, and like you said, because they don't have that trust, I believe that they're trying to follow this already formula that's created, and it ain't working out. So you don't need to have individual movies. You can literally have one movie or two movie like with the same people building up and still like have them working together. But that's like where I'm sitting there.
Well, I'm going to say something that's very controversial. I don't believe that we have to listen to what the fans say. For me, fans don't know what they want until they get it. Marvel is a perfect example of that, especially in the beginning. Nobody wanted Iron Man. We got Iron Man. Everybody loved it. This is going forward with DC. Fans were very mixed, and the minority were very loud, while the minority was very loud, while the majority didn't really say much until Zack Snyder didn't get what he wanted, until all the drama with Ray Fisher, until all of that. The fans didn't really say much. That's why Warner Brothers didn't have much confidence, because the loud minority was the ones that were just dictating everything. So for me, I don't believe that the fans, I wouldn't say fans as in like the overall fans, but the sum of the many, I would say, are a loud minority, and that's what a lot of people pay attention to negativity more than the positive, and that's what producers are doing right now. Well, how much did Man of Steel make? It made over 600 million, right, worldwide. Yeah. See, technically, that is a good thing for DC, but Warner Brothers wanted more. They're greedy, obviously.
Well, I mean, no, I look at it like this: they're not wrong. And here's where I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna get us out of here. You look at Solo, a Star Wars story. It made crazy money, right? but it made crazy money if it was a comedy or a rom-com or anything else. It did not make a lot of
Not
money
for his budget, though.
for a Star Wars.
Not for his budget.
Right, but it didn't make a lot of movie for a Star Wars movie. Hence why we probably won't hear anything about a sequel or anything else with that property, because it didn't generate enough money, right? So Man of Steel made money, but that's the money you would hope Chronicle would make, or you would hope something, you know, like that, or Slight, even though that movie was god awful. You know, movies like that would make, right? That's not what you expect from Superman, who is worldly, you know, known as like the greatest hero of all time. So to them, their skew isn't how much money you make as a movie. It's how much money do you make as this singular property, knowing that this property should easily make me $1 trillion per viewing, right? Or per release. Whatever Superman movie I make should make trillions of dollars. So to them, it's not necessarily don't listen to the fans. It's just allow fans to be more so of your gatekeeper. So if fans are saying, we want, I'm trying to think of something. We want, New Gods, right? Make it. And when they say, well, we don't want two dark sides, I don't know who the hell they're afraid they're confusing. I mean, New Gods, I would assume, is a prequel. So it's before the events of where Darkseid is now. So it's like, if that's the case, it's that hard for you to tell people this is younger Darkseid. I mean, hell, Thanos is going to be in Eternals. We're hearing rumors of. That's a younger Thanos. You're not going to have a viewer go, oh, he came back to life. No, it's a younger Thanos. It's completely different.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Here's my point.
I'm joking. I know.
No. I'm saying, as far as them, they released Suicide Squad with a Joker. Only a few years later, they release a solo movie with a Joker, and no one said, well, wait, is that the same guy, or is this a different one? No one cared. They saw the movie because a lot of people said it was good, and they left and didn't think twice about it. Why? Because mainstream follows what's hot. It's why mainstream shouldn't matter. They flock to whatever the masses say. It's why you had people who had never seen a Marvel movie watching WandaVision going, I don't know what I'm watching. Yeah, dummy. You should have watched the 18 other.
Exactly. Same here. I barely watched any of the Marvel movies. I don't remember much about what happened, but you know why I tuned into WandaVision? Because other people were talking about it and the shit was good. And you know how we got there? Because the gatekeepers in that, like, in the people that are dedicated, they talked about it. And because they talked about it, what happened? The general public came in. So if you trust your core audience, and I'm a firm believer here. So when I talk about like, oh, the audience, I'm talking about your core audience. Trust your core audience and they will get you what you need, right? Like if you don't trust your core audience, then how can you expect the general public to go along with it?
That's the problem. The problem is Warner Brothers was derailed by the media, by critics.
Yeah.
Right?
Critics.
Yeah. And then mainstream was led by the critics. Because they don't know anything about Doomsday and how he shouldn't look like a troll from Lord of the Rings. They don't know anything about, you know what I'm saying, about how weird it was that the Flash just popped in out of. They don't know anything about that, right? So to them, they're just watching it like, someone has to tell me what any of this is. They were led by a media and critics who are like, this is horrible, worst thing I've ever seen. So to them, I'm with you, worst thing I've ever seen. And then Warner Brothers immediately said, well, mainstream likes Marvel being bright and funny, so let's give them a Justice League that's bright and funny. And it's like, well, that's where you failed. Because if you listen to us, we weren't saying the darkness was the problem, the seriousness was the problem. You just weren't making the greatest of movies. That's honestly all.
Exactly.
That's the point I was trying to make. Focus on making a great story, then go on from there. It doesn't have to be something that's very popular like a Batman or Superman. It can be something obscure like Guardians of the Galaxy or Suicide Squad. As long as it's a good movie, people will go. As long as it's a good movie, it will become popular. That's why I say I don't believe the fans. Oh, God, I can't really explain it that well, but
I see what you're saying, but don't say fans because the gatekeepers do matter. Mainstream doesn't matter. Mainstream doesn't matter because they just flock on to whatever, you know? So it's like, it's the idea of fans matter because we are trying to tell you we like it. Keep doing it. They jump over us because they don't believe that we make up enough of their box office, right?
Gotcha.
I can't put my stock in you. Not enough of you go out to see it. So I have to make it to where it caters to the people that will. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they will see it and go, man, that was horrible. But we'll see it and go, bro, they gave us Dark Side. He used Omega Beams. We got to see Martian Manhunter. We got to see Barry go back in time. We got to see a better Cyborg. But to mainstream, to them, it's the same movie. They don't know what they saw in 4 hours that was different than the 2 hour cut that they got in theaters.
That's why I think Zack Snyder is I think that's the reason why Zack Snyder is a very popular director, is because he's a fan himself.
Well, he's a popular director who's now going to be polarized because now you even have the director of Kong vs. Godzilla saying, I got a 5 hour cut, but I don't think y'all ever see it. He's now changed. He's like the Steph Curry of filmmaking. He's changed the game to where now everyone wants to shoot from half court. No one was doing that 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Now that's what everyone's doing. Charles Barkley said he went to a high school practice.
Well, I would argue Martin Scorsese's been doing it before anybody else.
Yeah. No. I'm not talking about length of movies. I'm talking about the idea of here's this cut, here's a better cut. Now everyone's like, well, shit, I messed up on the theatrical cut, but my extended cut was better. Can I release it?
No. What I'm saying is that no one will go over what Martin Scorsese says because he'll just get the film that he wants out regardless of all that. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, Martin Scorsese said, "Hey, I got this 10-hour movie I want you to show in theaters." What?
Yeah.
And next thing coming to theaters.
No edits whatsoever. It's just all the way through.
All one shot. But all right, we've derailed a little bit. We've covered everything clearly we can on Star Wars. A DC podcast is in our near future between the three of us for sure. There's just so much to break down, and maybe we can get into AJ's dislike for some of the new 52 animated movies.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we definitely got to get into that for sure. In all honesty, I want to hear everything that you dislike. Maybe we can.
I'm actually gonna get the Blu-rays for all of them anyway in the future. So I'll rewatch them. I'm restarting my 4K and Blu-ray collection because I had to get rid of all of them. So I might as well just start fresh anyway. I'm starting with the MCU, going with the DCU next, then Lord of the Rings, then all of that. But yeah, I'll talk DC. Doesn't matter what it is: animated, live action, comics, anything.
You already know.
Especially Marvel too, Star Wars, everything.
We'll get into a lot more. We'll open up these podcasts that we do together because this one shouldn't have just been Star Wars, but you know, neither here nor there. But again, Ash, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun having you here today.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun. It's been a really long time since I've talked Star Wars, so I just loved it. So thank you.
Absolutely. And everybody, please make sure you're checking out some of the Black Series figures that Star Wars is coming out with. The Hot Toys is Hot Toys, right, AJ?
Sideshow Hot Toys, yeah.
Sideshow Hot Toys. Make sure you check those out. A lot of good stuff out there with Star Wars. Let's get this good feeling of Star Wars back in the air. Let's get all that nasty taste of Abrams and the other guy out of here, and let's get back to that good feeling of Star Wars.
Oh, Kevin Feige is producing the movie for Star Wars too.
Well, we can't talk about it now. We didn't spend an hour on TV, but maybe next episode we'll talk about it. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to an all-new Star Wars Saturday. We probably won't have these episodes every week, so don't look for it every week. But anytime there's news, we'll have an episode of Star Wars Saturday. But this will not be the last podcast you get from the three of us. We apparently got some strong feelings on a lot of different topics we got to get into. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys same time, same place, another time. Till then, peace.